Kia ora, welcome into Mitre 10 Sports Park here in Hastings in the beautiful Hawke's Bay for the 26th running of the Spence Pharmacies Potts Classic. I'm Mark Rosanowski and with me is a local athlete not competing tonight, Holly Manning, so we're lucky enough to have her as part of the coverage. And Holly, being a local, you can talk us through the weather at the moment. It's fairly fine and the breeze just starting to pick up a little.
Yeah, I would say that the weather conditions are pretty good at the moment. I hope that it stays like this. It's a little breezy, but I don't think it's too much to complain about, and perhaps a little bit of a helping wind down the home straight, which I guess you can't complain about.
A couple of ominous clouds. They seem to be going that way at the moment. Talk of the odd thundery shower. Have you experienced that here before?
Honestly, not here. I haven't been in very rainy conditions, but at Nationals last year in Wellington, the 800 caught the rain, so I know how it feels, but I'm praying that it stays fine tonight.
3 years ago on your home track, right here, you won the senior title, 800 metres, and one of the key features tonight for bronze Continental Tour points will be the women's 800 at the end of the night. How much are you looking forward to that, and who do we look out for?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching that. I think that the one to watch is Allison Andrews-Paul. Rumour has it she's going for a PB tonight, so I think we should all be pretty excited to watch that.
Reigning national champion. We've got a lot of young talent on the rise, and in there, of course, is Bo Ritchie, who continues to produce personal bests.
Yeah, she's been running incredibly, so I think having that field to pull her through should hopefully bring her to another PB, which I know she's had a lot of recently. So yeah, it'll be an awesome race.
And being a national champion yourself in the past, you probably know about the nerves, because tonight 3,000 metres men's and women's senior national champions will be crowned here.
Yeah, definitely. I think the 3K is going to be another good race to watch. I think a lot of those athletes will be very nervous, but I think they'll be excited as well, especially being here at Potts Classic. This is a lot of athletes' favourite classic event of the season. So yeah, they'll be pumped, I think, as well as nervous.
Yeah, indeed. Look, we can't wait for those 3,000 metres, and then to look forward to all of the young talent we've got on show at the moment, talking about Bo Ritchie, obviously Sam Ruth, who's had a very big week, starting with a 4:01 mile at the Cooks last Saturday, and then his 150 and change personal best 800 metres during the week as well. And Maddie Waddell also on the track to look forward to. But now let's head up to the voice of the Potts Classic this afternoon and evening, and that is Hayden Shearman.
Well, kia ora koutou everyone, and welcome to the Mitre 10 Sports Park here in Hastings. It's fantastic to have your company. My name is Hayden Shearman, and as we saw on screen, Holly Manning is joining us in the studio. It's great to have a local runner here. Holly is on injury duty at the moment, which is the track's loss, but our gain in the studio. So Holly will be bringing expert comments throughout the night, and where we have balmy conditions, and so far, Holly, that rain that we talked about is holding off. It's back towards the hills.
Yeah.
As a local, so far so good?
Yeah, fingers crossed. I think looking out at the sky now, it looks all right. So yeah, we'll just cross all our fingers and toes for some good weather. But I think, if I was showing up to the track to race tonight, I'd be pretty happy. It's good conditions, not too hot. So yeah, thanks very much for having me. It's fun being on this side of the track. Obviously not ideal, but I'm excited to be here, so thank you.
Absolutely. And so, ladies and gentlemen, watching back home, wherever you are in Aotearoa, New Zealand, or around the world, it's great to have your company with us. We've got 3 hours of great athletics action coming at you. On the track, we're going to have some 100s heats, and then later in the evening, we've got the finals of those 100 heats. We'll also have some 400s, some one-lappers, and then some 800s, and then the big events tonight, always at the Alan and Sylvia Potts Classic, is the 3,000 metre national champs and the 800s, and they round off the action on the track. But as you can see out there on the field, we have the men's discus is already well on its way. We've got the Australian Maximilian Perry, who is sitting pretty strong early days in the competition with a 44 metre throw. And Angus Liver, who we're going to see a lot of tonight. He's already been in action, one of our multi-eventers. He's sitting in second place. And there we saw Jade Zaya, who's just bumped his way into first place with a 46 metre throw. So men's discus is happening, men's long jump is happening, and we're getting towards the pointy end of that competition on the far end of the track, just to the right of your screen. This is Nathaniel Sulupo, our Samoan athlete, coming in with a PB of 52.98, and certainly the top thrower amongst these boys, so expect him to put a good mark out, hopefully late 40s, early 50s. But this is his first throw, so Nathaniel Sulupo spinning around, the right-handed thrower gets it out of the circle. No, it just clips the net on the way through. And yeah, as we said, I was talking to a bunch of athletes throughout today and yesterday, and the common consensus is this is everyone's favourite track.
Oh, totally.
And you're obviously from here. You grew up in the Hawke's Bay. but there's a lot of people who really love coming here each year.
Yeah, I have a bit of bias, but this is definitely the favourite meet of the season. It's always brings the vibes, and yeah, traditionally it's normally pretty good weather. So yeah, let's hope it holds out for tonight. But yeah, I love competing and training at this track.
Yeah, it's a cool part of the world, and here we see Jordan Peters, who is a Athletics New Zealand staffer. We're used to seeing Jordan in the long jump, but here he is giving the discus a go. So it's always great to see athletes transition their skill set over from the jumps to the throws, or trying something new.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah, that one clipped the net on this occasion for Jordan, and now. Is that blessing Sefor? That looks like a good opener out towards the sort of mid to low 40s. So good start for blessing. Now over on the long jump, we are now into, there's a roundup of the 6 athletes taking part in this men's open discus. We've also got an under 20 division running at the same time as well, and a para division. So we've got about 12 athletes total across all those divisions. There you see Heath Abbott in there, who is more prominent as a hammer thrower. So those men will be throwing the 1.75 kg discus, and as opposed to the 2 kg discus for the senior men. And there's our para athletes, Corin Hanning, Jack Adams, lining up in the discus as well. So a fairly strong field to get through, so expect the rounds to take a little while. Here we go, Corin Hanning, a little replay of his first throw, just staying inside the sector, out towards 30. He's been beyond 40 at his best. And Jack Adams, 34-year-old out of Gisborne. Left-hander obviously spinning clockwise. And at Jack's best, he's been out to 29 metres. So we'll see if he can get up towards that 30-metre marker today, but good conditions for the throwers. Now over to the long jump. This is into round 6 of the long jump. So the final round, we've got Lewis Arthur sitting in the lead. He opened up with a 6.98, and that remains the lead. Here's Perito Na sitting in second place with a 6.44 that he dropped in round 5. That bumped him up ahead of Jack Bryan. Let's see what he can do. Final jump for Na. Oh, reaches out for the sky, came in with good speed. Little clap of the hands, gets the white flag. And he's had a good round, so consistently up into the 6s, and that 6.44 just nudged him into that second place position. But Lewis Arthur is sitting pretty comfy out in the lead.
Yeah, I know that Lewis will probably be quite happy with that, because I know he had been battling a bit of injury before this season. So yeah, I think he'll be stoked about that.
Lewis, he's won a bunch of minor medals at national champs, never taken a long jump gold, but he's definitely picked up a fair few silvers and bronzes. And could this be the year that he can rise up into the top of the podium? But here he is, Lewis Arthur. One more jump here at the Alan and Sylvia Potts Classic. The long jump brought to you by HB Toyota. Fulfill your driving desire at Hawke's Bay Toyota. And Lewis Arthur, look at that opening, 6.98. They've got a nice tailwind here. It's been sitting between 1 metre per second and 2. And that looked like the foot just went over. And, he gave it a good clap. I thought that foot was well over the board, but
it was close.
There we go. As I always say, I'm glad I'm not the one officiating these things. And so, Holly, talk to us about what this meet means for Hawke's Bay athletes, because it's 26 years running now.
Yeah.
It's been around a while.
Yeah.
What does it mean to the local athletics community?
It's a really cool event. I think the fact that, it's named after Alan and Sylvia Potts, two pretty prominent athletes from Hawke's Bay who've done a lot of things, not just, with their accolades, but for runners in the community. And then their son Richard also being a coach and bringing this whole meet to life is pretty incredible. And then you've even got his own sons running in the event as well. We just saw them in the 1500. I think, it just really does bring the community together, and the fact that everybody else seems to really like it, all the athletes from other regions. As we said, it's their favourite, so we're pretty proud of it.
And anything for a weekend away in the Bay,
oh,
right?
yeah,
I
think
it's a good spot to come and enjoy some sunshine.
Yeah, get to the beach.
To winery, go to a beach, some good cafes around. It's a nice place to spend a bit of time.
Yeah.
I remember taking my daughter to Splash Planet one time.
Oh, yeah, Splash Planet's always fun. Yeah.
Her quote, 5 minutes into it, was, "Dad, it's too splashy."
Well, what did you expect?
What did you expect? But there we go.
Yeah, no, it is a lot of fun memories at that place.
Yeah, cool. So into the second round in this discus competition, we just saw the long jump finish up. Lewis Arthur with a 686, so he takes it out consistently out in the high sixes. Didn't quite crack that 7 metre mark today, but here is Angus Liver, who is a well-performed long jumper himself, but a multi-eventer these days. Here he is spinning the discus out of the circle, and that looked like a pretty good throw around the 40 metre marker. Gets the white flag. And it's great to see these multi-eventers really putting a bit of pressure on the throwers and the jumpers and the sprinters.
Yeah.
I believe Angus is he's the reigning 200 metre champion from memory.
So.
Yeah. So I'll double check that before I totally put my feet in it. Yeah, he is. So it's great to see him throwing well and obviously jumping well as well.
Yeah, and there's a few women multi-eventers that I'm quite excited to watch today as well, like Brianna Stevenson pacing the 800. So it'll be,
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw Maddie earlier in the day.
That was unfortunate.
She was lining up in the 200 just about an hour ago and unfortunately DQ'd with a false start in that one. But we're going to bring some highlights from earlier in the afternoon, sort of the pre-meet program. So we do have some highlights that we'll jump over to shortly, because there has been a good amount of action so far in the day. And James Stain was leading the action in the pole vault, successful at 4:30, and these were his attempts at 5:40. Had a good little crowd on the embankment cheering him along. Eliza McCartney, Olympic bronze medalist from back in 2016, of course silver medal at the World Indoors last year, cheering her along. And here he is, James, having another little chat to himself. This would be a good season's best if he got it, but he looked really good over 5:30. I think he got that on his second attempt. Here's his final attempt at 5:40. You can see there's a good height there, but not to be. And then we had the 200s, and look at this from Lex Revell-Lewis. First time under 21 seconds for Lex after his big 400 just the other day down in the Cooks Classic. Set a 20.84 meet record and personal best. So that really lit the track up and set the tone for what's to come. And this wonderful run from the girls in the 200. That was the B final, and here it was Scully Tui taking out the women's race in a time of, I wrote it down somewhere, Kendra Scully Tui in a time of 24:04. And we had some great racing from our local Hastings boys.
Yeah, lots of locals there, and that's Cameron Potts actually. That's Richard Potts' son, so Richard will be happy with that. And then Thomas, Cameron's brother, was also in this race. So very cool. I think the top three were all coached by Richard, so he'll be proud of them. Very cool.
Yeah, well supported by the local club, and the crowd is always great here. They really do turn up to support the athletes that come from all over New Zealand, and also from all corners of the world as well to the Potts Classic each year. So great to see the stadium starting to fill up tonight. A lot of these athletes finish up their pre-meet race and then go and put on a Marshall's t-shirt and then get back to some volunteering around the track.
We've got them working hard, which is good. It's fun as well.
It's part of your club membership, isn't it?
Oh, totally,
yeah. With the Potts Classic.
You got to.
All right, Corin Hanning, one of our prominent para-athletes. He's often found across the throws. And that one looked around the 40-metre mark. The other throws event that was earlier today was the hammer throw, and I can tell you Anthony Barnes and Anthony Nobilo had a good battle, as they always do in the hammer, and it was only 67 centimetres separating them. On this occasion, Anthony Barnes taking out the win from Anthony Nobilo. Anthony Barnes throwing 68.77 and Nobilo 68.10. And then in the women's, it was pretty close as well between Elizabeth Hewitt and Nadia Kumaric. Elizabeth just taking that out with a 54.78 and ahead of Nadia Kumaric's 53.45. And then Iorana Tofafo Tafili with a 50.65. Personal best there for Iorana. So nice close competition, small fields in that hammer throw competition, but very close, and it's exciting to see the two Anthonys. They keep improving year after year. I believe it's Anthony Barnes who's now into that 70-metre club and getting close to knocking on the door, potentially rewriting that New Zealand record as well. So watch this space with Anthony Barnes and Anthony Nobilo over the coming months and years as they progress. Both of them young men in their early 20s, I want to say 24, 25. So definitely hitting their prime in terms of throwers over the next couple of years.
It's exciting.
So these under 20 boys in the discus, again, they're throwing the slightly lighter weight of the 1.75, and here's Heath Abbott, who is better known for his hammer throwing, but today he's out to the mid-30s, best of 35.73, and that one picks up a red flag. So this is the third round at the moment in that junior division. It's Jaira Esakia who has the lead with a 50.33, and then Hector O'Rourke with a 47.11. And those two know each other pretty well after Jaira took out the New Zealand Secondary Schools title, and Hector got the bronze. And here's Fraser Hazeldine of Lake City Athletics, best of 37.20, and that won't improve on that, just ending up outside the sector. And here is Shannon Murphy, Takapuna. That Takapuna strip's looking really nice. Have they had an update in their uniform recently?
Looks pretty fresh.
So women's shot put getting underway. So we'll, up until about 5:30, we'll be jumping between the field events as we wait for the arrival of our first of the track events, which is the heats of the 100 metres. And I can tell you, despite not having the big guns of the Zoe Hobbs, Tian Waltons, Edia Osai and Ketia, we do have some quality sprinters lining up, and I'm excited to see if any of those sprinters can really jump up today in terms of their performances, because conditions are good. Here's the start list for the women's shot put, throwing the 4 kg. Natalia Rankin-Cheetah, she's the woman to look out for. Got Maddie Wilson, as we talked about earlier, and Brianna Stevenson. They are the top Kiwi heptathletes at the moment. Carmen Maritz is in there as well, but definitely keep an eye on Natalia Rankin-Cheetah. And there's Shannon Murphy in the F37 para division.
I think Maddie will probably be quite happy she's got a second chance in doing something else. That's the benefit of being a multi-eventer, isn't it?
So yeah, Maddie Wilson was lined up in the 200 pre-meet, but unfortunately had a false start, which as a heptathlete can be pretty devastating to your competition. So it's always good to do those little mistakes at an event like this, where it's maybe not as much pressure. But both Brianna and Maddie are really taking good strides forward. You know, they're so quality athletes that when they line up for, you know, Brianna's the reigning 100-meter hurdles champ. Maddie Wilson took out the high jump down at the Capital Classic. They're classy athletes individually, but they have this amazing just ability to transfer their skill set across all these events.
Definitely, they're so impressive to watch. Like, I see Brianna training at Mount Smart a lot, and yeah, watching her, she's so dedicated. So it's awesome seeing that come to life on the track.
Another local girl? She's from
Yeah,
Hawke's
she's
Bay?
from Hawke's Bay,
Yeah.
but lives up in Auckland now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure she'll be happy being back on her home track.
Yeah, looks like a good start getting out around that 12-meter mark. Incidentally, in terms of multi-eventers, it tends to be the shot put is the weakest event of all the events for the multi-eventers, which makes sense, because they sort of come in as sprinters / jumpers, and so you'd expect the throws as the toughest one to get when your strength is speed and agility. But they're doing pretty well, getting up into the double figures, and great for them to have such quality throwers in New Zealand to rub shoulders with. Loving the solar power t-shirt there. That is cool.
It's very cool.
I'm trying to set throwing academy. Oh yes. So Shaka Solar's club t-shirt on point is, that's good, from Nathaniel Salopo, straight down the middle of the sector, and mid-40s. So current standings, we're now into we're still in round 3 for the senior men. Nathaniel is sitting in second place with a 45.84, and that throw is a 43.62, so won't change the picture. And here we've got Jordan Peters, who has had 2 fouls so far. New to the sport of discus. Is that one going to stay in? It does. So he gets a mark on the board in the 3rd round. And, I think it might have been given the red flag. So maybe just overstepped on that. Okay, Maddie Wilson for the first time in the shot put circle. Let's see what she's got. Taller athlete, so using the whole circle. She seemed a bit frustrated with her false start earlier in the day with the 200, as
you would be. Yeah.
Definitely understandable. But I think it's a unique personality type, the multi-eventers.
Yeah, and I always think they must have so much time to chat to each other that it would actually be quite fun. You'd probably make some pretty good friends with all those hours you spend together out doing various events.
It's one of the moments not to miss at like a global champs, that 800 at the end of a heptathlon, on the 1500, and just the camaraderie that you see. The
camaraderie and the absolute carnage.
Yeah, absolutely. They're so tired by that time, and they give them the
can't even imagine. I know. 800's hard enough as it is.
Yeah. And it's actually amazing, especially the women, how fast they are over the 200, the 800.
I know, with all the other training they have to do, and being able to do that, it's pretty incredible.
And there's Brianna as well. So these small fields, we're rolling through the shot put pretty quick. We're already into round 3. Whereas the men's discus started 20 minutes earlier, and they are still getting through round 3 as well. So Brianna Stevenson, she's had 2 fouls, but finally that's a 10.06. So she's on the board. Maddie Wilson has got 11.77, but Natalia sitting out the front with a 14.43, pretty comfy at the moment. Now Shannon Murphy, she's done an 8.15 and 8.39. And here she goes again, left-handed approach. And here we go, first heat on the track on our coverage with you here at the Alan and Sylvia Potts Classic at the Mitre 10 Sports Park. So we have James Wallace, we have Tommy Te Puni, I should say, Kevin Syriac, Bill Quigley, Logan England, Shay Veitch, Liam Kilby, Imran Murtha. Look at that start from Shay Veitch. He's straight up on his toes. He knows how to run fast here. He won the national title in the 100 metres a few years ago, and he takes it out ahead of Tommy Te Puni. Shay Veitch looking sharp, got the buzz cut, and he was moving out of the blocks, so fast out of the blocks. Remember that amazing double that he did here a few years ago where he won the long jump and then about 30 minutes later just jogged over, won the 100-metre title. Loves this track.
Sure, got good memories here.
Second, Tommy Te Puni, 10.74. And Metha, 11.08.
And just getting results through. So Shay Veitch takes it out, 10.58. Tommy Te Puni, 10.74. He had a solid 400 metres behind Lex Revell-Lewis down at the Capital Classic the other day. So definitely for Tommy Te Puni, it does feel like stepping down in distance these days. Where Shay Veitch focusing on the long jump and the 100 over recent years. He's had his exploits over the one lap in the past, but definitely focus more on the more explosive events. Imran Murtha with a personal best there, 11.08. So that's the first heat. So we've got 2 to go through, and then the next 2 fastest. Now in this next event, we've got Troy Middleton, Perito Na coming back from the long jump, Matthew Roger, Cole Gibbons, Jonathan Maples, who's been running really well in the 400 hurdles lately, and Lex Revell-Lewis. There you can see in the speed suit, the grey and white speed suit on the left of your screen. Took out the 400 metre title earlier last year, the national title, and took the 200 metre silver behind Angus Liver. And he's been threatening breaking that 400 metre title along with Tommy Te Puni over the last really 18 months, and it's a race to see who's going to finally take down that New Zealand 400 metre record. But Lex has decided after his great 200 to scratch on the 400 and focus just on the 100 for tonight. Right, back to Brianna. So 2 fouls. She'll want to make sure she stays in the circle and the shot stays in the sector.
Underway in Lex Revell-Lewis, flying well.
And back to this 100. Look at Lex Revell-Lewis. That's a great start. Perito Na looking very good as well. And I believe that was Matthew Roger actually in lane 5. But Lex Revell-Lewis, full of speed, 10.50, and it was actually Troy Middleton, apologies, 10.76 in seconds. So a couple of scratchings from this one. But Lex Revell-Lewis, once he gets up to speed, he really gets motoring. You see that cadence just pick up as he gets up.
He looks so relaxed as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that warm-up in the 200 earlier on today helped him out there.
And would have just been aware of Troy Middleton on his outside. He's a 10.63 runner. He ran that PB back in November. He got away to a good start, so probably just in the peripheral of his vision, just aware that Troy was running really well. But there's the results, 10.50. Not too... I think that might be a personal best for Lex. Let me just double check that. If the wind is all good, which it has been for most of the day, it's been sort of sitting around that 0.6 up to 2 meters per second.
Yeah, 10:39. This is PB.
Ah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to follow the results, you can jump on Athletic Live and then just search for the Potts Classic. Gives you all the stats that we're seeing in front of us. You can see it live as they come through. Sometimes when you click on athletes' details, their personal best will not be entirely accurate. So just bear that in mind. I've been led astray a few times. So yeah, I had down his personal best at 10.52, but you could be right. So it may be, but it's a good solid run regardless. And I thought he was, if anything, a little bit slow getting out of the blocks and then really got up to speed. So potentially there's a bit more in the tank for the final.
Looks like the 10:39 was maybe not wind legal.
That would explain it.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got one more heat to come in the 100. And of course, the final will be run later tonight, and it really is ideal conditions. It's nice and warm out there. Athletes won't be feeling too cool. But we've got Ryland Noom, who won the 200. Nume, sorry. He won the 200 gold in New Zealand secondaries back in 2023. Next to him, Joshua Adegoke, Ethan Hull, Hoyato Yonito, who's fourth at the Nationals. He's there in black in lane 6. Leon Roger next to him, and Kahurangi Kotaro, better known for his 400 running exploits. He's the reigning 400 metre under 20s champ. He won the under 18s in the one lapper the previous year. So let's see how he goes in lane 8 over the 100 metres. But definitely all eyes on Hayato Yonito, and also don't discount Ryland Nume wearing the local colours out there in lane 3.
Yeah, 2 local boys, which is quite good to see. I know Ryland's been coming back from injury. He mentioned that after Cooks, I think it was, so he'll be happy to be on the track.
So Nume, Edagoke, Hole, Yonito, Roger, Cotterill, and good start there from Nume. But here he comes, Toyota Yonito, steaming to the finish. It's close on the line, but Yonito takes it, showing the speed that took him to that 4th place at the Nationals back in Wellington in March. And again, another 10.5 for the win. Yonito 10.57, and then Ryland Nume 10.66. So all of these guys showing good speed. And that's the season's best for Yonito. Ryland Nume equaling the time that he ran at the Cooks Classic. So I want to say that could be a personal best for Yonito as well. Oh, it's very close. It's just being rounded up to 10.57, which I think he's around 10.56 last year as his personal best. So very close to lifetime best for Yonito, and it really sets up a solid final to come. As we mentioned, we don't have the big guns of Zoe Hobbs, Tian Walton, but we do have a lot of the up-and-comers and a lot of the names we need to keep an eye out over the coming year. Shannon Murphy back in the shot. So it's round 4 here in the men's discus. Nathaniel Solopos still sitting in 3rd. He picked up the 3rd place at Nationals last year. Has a best of 52.17. Hasn't been able to get up into the 50s yet today, but round 4, let's see how he can go throwing into that Hawke's Bay breeze. This one's got good flight on it. Yes, that's beyond 50. There it is. He's found the rhythm. And that one just floated out right down the middle of the sector. And he gives it a good clap, likes it, nods the head. Take a look at the t-shirt. Love it. I think that's the best club uniform we've got.
I'd agree.
I like that.
Yep.
51.73, there it is. So that's a good mark. That really sets the tone for the remainder of the competition. Blessing Sefo is sitting in second. He's going to have a little bit of work to catch him.
And in lane 3,
now we've got a fourth heat. I missed that one. So fourth heat in the 100 metres. We've got Arian Welland, Ethan Phillips, Oscar Smith, who's an interesting name to look about more about Oscar shortly, and Zach Ziogas, James Lowther, and Caden Taylor, who won the New Zealand Secondary Schools 100 and 200 and is the reigning under-20s 100 and 200 national champion. He's running in lane 8, best of 10.52. But Oscar Smith, no times next to him, but he's the 2024 World's Life-Saving Beach Sprint champion. So coming out of Gisborne, running there in lane 5. So keep an eye out for him, especially once we get further into the race. But let's see the start from Caden Taylor, the New Zealand Secondary Schools champ. He's out in the lead in lane 8, really showing that form. And here comes Oscar Smith, now getting up to his speed and jogging it home. Caden Taylor books his spot in the final, and Oscar Smith not running on grass, on sand today, but looking at home on the track. So 10.77 was the time for Caden Taylor, able to just jog it home and back off the pace. And Oscar Smith, just a tick over 11 seconds, showing the speed that took him to that World Surf Life-Saving Sprint title last year. And I believe it was the 2 Gisborne athletes who took out the male and female sprint titles last year, so that's very cool. Oscar Smith, 11.07, Caden Taylor, 10.77. The men's 100 metres, brought to us by Corteva Agriscience, dedicated to innovation in agriculture. As we go back to the Wool Life NZ Discus. Yeah, that one just staying in. It's out towards 50 metres. It's a good throw, gets the white flag. Jaira Esakia, he's thrown that 1.75 kg discus, the under-20s discus, beyond 50 metres already today with a 50.33. And that one could be even further.
And title winner for 2025, representing North Harbour Bays with a jump of 6 metres, 0.98, Lewis Arthur.
So if you've just tuned into the coverage with us here on Sky Sport 9 and the Athletics New Zealand YouTube channel, it's great to have your company. My name's Hayden Shemin. With me in the commentary booth is Holly Manning, local athlete, 800 metre, former 800 metre national champion, currently injured, and so we get the benefit of having her expert comments with us. And it's fantastic to have you with us here at the Alan and Sylvia Potts Classic, brought to you by Spence Pharmacies. And this, of course, is the 26th running of this event, and it's the World Athletics Bronze Tour, which means there's some key points up for grabs in certain events. And talk to us about how that works and what some of our elite athletes will be looking to get out of this event.
Yeah, definitely. It's a pretty important meet to try and get those points, as you say. A lot of athletes will be looking to qualify for World Champs this year, or just trying to get into some fast races over in Aussie or perhaps in Europe as well. So the more points you can collect and the faster your times, the more likely it is you'll be able to get into some of those big comps later on in the year. So we're lucky to be able to have meets like this in New Zealand to get us those points. So yeah, people will be really looking to perform here today, not only with times but placings as well.
Yeah. So the first of the women's 100-metre heats will be going shortly, and there are just 3 heats plus the women's para to come. Now, we have Caitlin Black in lane 2. Next to her is Athena Forvakis. We've got Alexandra Domansky, Daisy Goodman, Madeline Waddell, Brooke Summerfield, and Queenie Morgan in lane 8. Now, Brooke Summerfield is the one to watch. She had a great summer last year, picking up the silver in the 100 behind Zoe Hobbs. There she is in lane 7 with the blue singlet. And the bronze in the 200 metres behind Georgia Hulls and Rosie Elliott. So she's sort of the behind those 3 who have been leading women's sprinting. Brooke Summerfield is the one who's asserting her name as sort of the number 4 on the block.
Yeah, she seems to be getting better and better every season, which is really cool to see.
Yeah,
pretty inspiring.
Really cool. 28 years of age and getting faster each year. Posting new personal best last year. So Brooke Summerfield in lane 7. Keep an eye out for some of the youngsters. Madeline Waddell next to her. Oh, and that's a nasty false start. We'll have to wait and see whether there's some movement or some noise. Let's see what the officials make of that one.
I didn't see any. Did you see any?
No, whether it was just a long hold or something. Oh. So Brooke Summerfield, after talking her up, we are going to have to bid her farewell, and that's a real shame for Brooke. But it is the nature of sprinting. If you false start, you're out of there, and it's one of the skills of the sport, staying calm, staying relaxed, just responding to the gun and nothing else. So the field drops by 1. No Queenie Morgan in lane 8, no Brooke Summerfield in lane 7. It's just Caitlin Black, Athena Favakis, Alexandra Domansky, Daisy Goodman, and Madeline Waddell. 2 athletes to go through, and the next 2 fastest. And nice and quick out of the blocks is Domansky. She's got the lead at the moment, but here come the long strides of Madeline Waddell. These 2 nice and close. Madeline Waddell will take it, and Alexandra Domansky in 2nd place. And unfortunately for Brooke, she has to take her spikes off, and I believe that's it for the day. She was just focused on the 100 metres today, and so really unfortunate for Brooke Summerfield. But Madeline Waddell running really well. Once she got up to that speed, had Domansky on her left, just pulling her along in that first 50 metres. And we'll look forward to heat 2 in the women's 100 metres. 3 heats, 2 to go through to the final automatically, and then we'll be looking for the next 2 fastest. So there's a recap. Madeline Waddell, 12:22. Alexandra Domansky posting her personal best thanks to that good fast start. Caitlin Black in 3rd with a 12:63. And another personal best for Athena with a 13:04, getting very close to that sub-13 mark. Now the women's pole vault getting underway. So we've got a fair bit happening in the field. The women's shot put has just concluded. So we rolled through that competition very quickly, and we'll soon be able to bring you the summary of the results.
In lane 2 here, the next the women's 100.
But let's run through the start list in the women's pole vault. So the bar is now up to 370, I want to say. No, it'll be at 345 now. So we've had Maya Grundy go clear at 330. Via Chaplow has cleared at 3:30, and Milena Henderson has one more attempt at 3:30. And we're yet to see Aria Rhodes, Elaine Zai, Hannah 80, and Talia Vorster open up. Okay. Heat number 2, we've got Ansel Girls, Juliet McKinley, Jackie Nasrabadi, Kendra Skelly-Tui, who we saw win the 200 metres earlier, Verda Gestrup, Kiana Pohi, and Amponsa Tabi-Amponsa. And all eyes on Kendra Skelly in lane 5. She's out to a good lead, but Kiana Pohi looking strong as well. Here comes Skelly-Tui. Oh, very close on the line. The strength of Kendra Skelly-Tui that took her to the under 18 national title in the 200 and the silver in the 100 at the Nationals last year, just taking out that heat. So Skelly-Tui and Pohi will go through to the final.
Pretty good run by the local athlete there, and Ponza as well. Hopefully she'll be happy with that.
And Kesra, 13.43.
Yeah, Tabi-Amponsa at 12.75 for 4th place. And Skelly-Tui 12.04, and look at that, Kiana Pohi 12.05 personal best, getting very close to that sub 12 group, that magic sub 12. Oh, and the first attempt at 3:45 is unsuccessful, so 3 have cleared 3:30. Milana Henderson took her to her final attempt, as with Maya Grundy, who we just saw on screen. Final attempt clearance at 3:30 and a first time miss at 3:45. Coming in with a personal best of 3:46, so that's right around her lifetime best. And the final heat in the women's 100 metres, we've got Brianna Irving. She's there wearing the purple. Asha McDonald, Georgia Gibbons, who got second in the New Zealand Secondary Schools 100 metres. Hunter Avery, Hannah Hickson, Michaela Stanton. So a lot of the younger athletes, some local athletes taking part in this event. So Georgia Gibbons, she's run 11.97, has entered that sub 11, sub 12 club. Back to the women's pole vault. Does it stick? Yes, it does. So successful over the first attempt at 3:45. And so the final of these 100 metres, of course, first 2 go through automatically, and then we're looking for the next fastest. Now, I'm not sure who that is in lane 1. My start lists don't include lane 1, but oh, so that's one of our para athletes actually from the next division. But look at this from Georgia Gibbons in lane 5. Great start, Brianna Irving. She might just have the lead. It is Brianna. And Brianna takes it, the 23-year-old out of North Harbour Bays.
She's also a beach sprinter as well. She does lots of sand stuff, so sand athletes prevailing tonight.
Yes. Prominent theme tonight.
Yeah.
So I thought Georgia got the start, but Brianna, once she got up to speed, really used that gentle tailwind to pull her home nicely. So 12.06 for Brianna, almost a lifetime best, just 0.1 of a second off. Georgia Gibbons 12.23. Here's a summary of those results. These 100 metres brought to you by Lawson Robinson Lawyers, a dynamic legal practice who are committed to their clients and their local community. Thanks to the support of Lawson Robinson Lawyers.
And in third place, representing Waitakere City Athletics, with a time of 22.61, Ariane Willange. And second place, also from Waitakere City Athletics Club, with a time of 21.
And there is those confirmation of the results. So 12.08 for Brianna. Georgia Gibbons, 12.23. Those two will go through automatically, and then the officials will do the maths and work out the next two fastest to go through to the final, which will be later on tonight. Exactly at 7:10 for the men, 7:15. So if you need to pop away and you want to make sure you catch those, be sure to be back here at just past 7 o'clock. Now back to the pole vault. These bars are getting up to lifetime best sort of heights for these athletes, and we've got Aria Rhodes clear. We've got Talea Vorster clear at 3:45. And we've had two misses from Maya Grundy, one miss each, sorry, Maya Grundy and Melina Henderson. Now opening up her day, Elaine Zai. Yes, a lot of room to spare. So Elaine Zai picked up the bronze medal at the national champs this year, which is always a great feat when you consider we had 3 women at the Olympics in the pole vault. So
very competitive.
If you can get on the podium at the national champs, you're doing well behind those top 3 women.
I think it's also great because they've got so many people to look up to, you know, like so many role models. It's like, it's such an exciting event for especially these women who've got these women right there to compete against and look up to, and yeah, it's great.
There's definitely a reason why there's so many young women doing pole vault, because they've got these great role models to look up to, and who have a lot of time for athletes.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, you can tell that they really want to put in kind of everything that they've gotten out of the sport so far, and I know there's more to come from all of them as well. So yeah. Just
yesterday, we took a bunch of the pole vaulting team here, including Eliza McCartney and James Stain. We went into a local school and did a little athletics pop-up event at lunchtime there, and it was great to have all the kids getting Eliza's autograph. And
yeah, that's very cool.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to take some poles and mats and do a demonstration, but it was great seeing the kids out there doing it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'll be something those kids will remember for a long time. You know, I remember when some local Olympians came to my school. Like we had Emma Twigg come, and that was, I'll never forget it. You know, it's very impactful. So yeah, I'm sure they won't forget it too.
So next up on the track is the 3,000 metre boys. So we've had so many entries in the New Zealand 3,000 metre champs. We've had to split the field into 2. So this is the B final. And these boys, they're not going to be hanging around for a B final. We can expect a time in the mid to low 8s. And then who knows how fast the A final will be run at. But I'm sure a lot of these guys arrived at the track thinking these conditions are pretty good for a 3K. It's not stinking hot, but the main thing is that the breeze isn't too bad. Yeah,
definitely. It's not too hot, it's not too muggy like it was last year, so I think these boys are in for a really fast time. And there's a lot of them around similar times, so I think they'll all push each other to get their PBs or get a season best. I'd also like to mention that there are actually quite a few local athletes in this, but they're disguised under different clubs. A lot of them work or are coached by Richard Potts as well, so he'll be eagerly watching this, I'm sure, as he's running around organising everything else.
Yes. So back to this pole vault. The bar is at 3:45, and as I mentioned, that's still a lifetime best for a lot of these athletes. Milana Henderson, taking down the bar, has a best of 3:40, so she's right at PB territory here. And that's her second miss at this height. Maya Grundy has also had 2 misses, and Via Chaplow has had 1 miss so far at this height. First time clearances from Aria Rhodes, Elaine Zai and Talea Vorster. And Hannah 80 has passed, so she's going to open at 370, we believe. So that's the field for the women's pole vault. Brought to you by Andrew Spence Pharmacy, and that is one of the Continental Bronze Tour events. So some key points up for grabs, and I know for a lot of those athletes, they are targeting World Unis, the standard for World Uni Games. So which is a sort of good second tier international competition for a lot of these athletes to target. But here's the start list for the 3,000 metre B final. Lorcan Rabbit, Red Scampion, Max Taylor, Connor Kemp, Jarvis Shaw, Finley Oliver, Nelson Doolan, Raina Kravitz from Estonia, Tram O'Callaghan. We've got Callum Stewart, Jake Lomas, Jesse Kempf, Andre Lapine Day, Robin Moore, Xavier Brown, Thomas Richards, Corbin Holmes, Isaac Murphy and Tane Patel. So a big field, mixture of seniors and juniors. Age ranges stretch from 33 down to 16. So a good spread of ages, but personal best in that range of 8:20 to early 9s. Oh, nice clearance there. Chaplow, second time up, second time of asking, goes clear at 3:45 with the personal best of 3:46. That's right there within cooey of her personal best. She's probably thinking, can we just make it 3:47? Just. And there's an overview of the field with their personal best and season's best in there. And so the only athlete we haven't seen yet is Hannah 80. We've got 4 of those athletes have cleared the 3:45 bar, and then 2 still hoping to clear. So Maya Grundy, who is on screen, and Melina Henderson, both from North Harbour Bays. Pretty much if you're in the pole vault, you're probably from North Harbour Bays. It's a good guess.
Yeah.
All right, 3,000 metres, we're underway. Good sized field. And we'll keep a close eye on splits and see if they're coming in with a bit of a plan. Third time miss for Maya Grundy. So she bows out of the competition.
That looks like Lorcan who's leading, Lorcan Rabbit out there.
So do you think these athletes might have had a chat to each other saying, you take a lap, I'll take a lap?
You would think so, right? Because you want to come out here and run a fast time. Although it looked fairly reluctant for Lorcan to get up there. So I don't know, I guess we'll see how it plays out over the next few laps. They look like they're kind of starting to pick it up now. It did look like it was going to be tactical for the first 100 metres, but maybe it'll start to string out over the next couple of laps.
Yeah, as you say that, you can see it's just starting to get more and more single file, all those athletes working out the pecking order, where they want to sit. Isaac Murphy from Palmerston North just sitting in there, tucked in behind Lorcan in second place, and they go through in 1:09. So not lightning quick, but certainly mid 8:30 kind of pace. And so it is Lorcan Rabbit at the front wearing the colours of Vic Uni, but local boy, isn't he?
Yes, he is, yep. Yeah, coached by Richard Potts. There's a few of them in here, as I mentioned. You've got Tane Patel as well. Max Taylor's also local.
Jesse Kempf just sitting in there. Oh, last attempt at 3:45, and unfortunately Melina Henderson will finish her competition. 4 clearances though for her today, and she doesn't quite walk home with the personal best, but a solid day at the office here at the Alan and Sylvia Potts Classic. And the women's pole vault brought to you by Adam Spence Pharmacies. And look at this big field, well stretched out as they come through 800 and 2:17. So maybe a little quicker, more like a 68 for that lap. And Lorcan Rabbit prepared to take on pacemaking duties for these boys?
Yeah, looks like it. He's a very confident runner, so I think he'll be quite happy being up at the front there.
So Looking Rabbit still in the lead. Isaac Murphy, grateful for the work that's being done just in front of him. Isaac Kempf just on the shoulder of Isaac Murphy.
We've got Callum Stewart in there as well, who's kind of sitting tight.
Oh yes, great clearance there. So the bar, I believe, has gone up to 360. Yes, so that's the new height of the bar in the women's pole vault, 360. As we see Isaac Murphy go into the lead. So maybe a little bit of a, you've done 3 laps. My turn to share some of that workload. So Isaac Murphy and Jesse Kempf round past Lorcan Rabbit into this warm Hastings sunshine. Not too much breeze to speak of. Often when we're doing the commentating, we're holding on to all of our start lists and papers, but today it's not too bad.
I feel like it's easing off a little bit too, so.
And maybe a bit of a separation in this pack. The top 6 are just starting to pull ahead of the next pack of 4, and then it's about 6 or 7 metres back to the stragglers. So things just starting to break up a little bit as we come up towards 1 mile, the halfway point. Pretty much bang on now, isn't it? So these guys on track for about an 8:30, which for many of them will be a personal best. For many others, they will know that they can hold an 8:30 and want to kick on. So Isaac Murphy still on the front, setting the tempo. Jesse Kempf just in there. And Lorcan Rabbit just starting to lose a little bit of ground. Callum Stewart there just on his shoulder, wearing the Wellington Harriers kit. As we see Elaine Zai getting poised for her first attempt at 360. She's hoping to get in that 4-metre club this summer. Up she goes. Yes. Nice and clean. Good clearance over the bar. Looked like there's some room to spare. And that could be important as we look towards the makeup of this competition. She's had a good clean sheet. Coming in reasonably early when you compare that to Elaine Zai. Hannah Addy, apologies, who's coming in at 370, so much later in the competition. But Isaac Murphy doing a lot of work at the front.
Yeah, he is. And you've got Max Taylor there, who he won the B race 5K at Night of Fives, and he ran that tactically very, very well. So you can kind of see him replicating this here. He's not taking the front. He's letting the others do the work. So it'll be interesting to see how the next few laps play out. And you've got Callum Stewart there as well, who's also been tactically sort of sitting in the right place.
Via Chaplow just having her first miss at 360. She had 1 miss at 345 before going clear. So again, right, these guys have got 2 laps to go now. Things are starting to heat up. That pace, you can see the intensity just kicking in. This is the painful part of the 3K, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the worst part.
The second to last lap.
Yeah, you know, if you can just hold on to the last lap, you can always run 1 more lap. But it's, yeah, the second to last ones, for me anyway, the most punishing.
Well, you can see these bungee cords, you know,
yeah,
that top
totally.
4 back to 5th, and there's a lot of stragglers behind them that are just like, oh my goodness, I'm in a world of hit.
Yeah, you just got to look up at the person in front of you and just think, I've just got to stick on them.
Yeah. Processes over pain.
Yep.
But it's hard to put the piano that just comes on your back in the back of your mind. Jesse Kempf is looking really good as we go back to the pole vault. Oh, just taking down the bar, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good battle for first.
Right, 4 men as they take the bell. Kemp has the lead. Isaac Murphy's right there. Callum Stewart is right there. Who's going to take it? Who's got the kick? Callum Stewart's coming wide onto the shoulder of Jesse Kemp.
Jesse Kemp going strong now is Callum Stewart. So Callum Stewart on the outside into the back straight.
You can see their heads now. They're pushing through the hurt.
Isaac Murphy.
Right up onto his toes. Callum Stewart looking good, showing a good clean pair of heels, coming into 200 metres to go, opening up a bit of a lead now. You can see Isaac Murphy, Max Taylor both starting to hurt Jesse Kemp after that move that he made about 400 metres ago. He's really struggling now, but look at this from Callum Stewart. Coming into the home straight now, looking like he's fresh as a daisy. Looks over his shoulder. He's going to be able to jog at home. It's a big battle for second. Callum Stewart, he's able to jog this home. He gets under 8:30. Isaac Murphy showing that strength. He had to do a bit of work earlier. He'll take second. And then it's Jesse Kemp. The crowd welcoming all these athletes home. There's a few locals out there and very happy to cheer on their local boys across the line, and bodies on the floor, hands on knees.
There was a really good battle back there between Lorcan and Red Scampion, the Whippets runner.
So Callum Stewart, he looks as fresh as a daisy.
Yeah, he looked
into
phenomenal.
That last 200.
He really did.
So arguably could have booked him a spot in the A3K, but it's always difficult to work out who gets in that select group of that A final. But great action here in the 3,000 metres, brought to you by Canopy Imaging, supporting athletic excellence. So Canopy Imaging, specialising in delivering cutting-edge imaging and diagnostics to athletes and sporting organisations in Hawke's Bay and across the North Island.
So there's Jarvis Shaw, the 16-year-old, so that's a pretty good run.
Awesome.
Yeah.
These guys just emptying the tank. Pretty tough work in the heat out there. It's probably sitting around the early to mid-20s this time in the evening. And definitely over the last K or so in a 3K, you're going to start to feel that heat. Probably not so much in the 800. It's not. You probably want nice and warm.
Yeah, I do think to a point the warmer the better. Maybe over 33 it's a bit hot, but yeah.
Reaches a limit.
It does.
Callum Stewart looking really relaxed, really in control. Now, last attempt. And unfortunately, the Chaplow of Hastings Athletics taking down the bar at 360. But she was clear at 345, which was only 1 centimetre off the lifetime best. So she can be pretty happy with that. She will finish, well, she's in 4th place at the moment, but Hannah 80 is yet to open up, so that 4th could become a 5th, assuming that Hannah can get a mark on the board.
From Palmerston North Athletic Club, Taylor Troe. From Hastings Athletic Club, Michaela Stanton. From Hastings Athletic Club, Brianna Stevenson.
And introducing the women's long jump, brought to you by Parkvale Pharmacy. Prides itself on customer service for everybody from the elderly to young babies. And a good field getting ready to go in this women's long jump. We've seen quite a few of these women already. We saw Brianna Stevenson, Maddie Wilson over in the long jump, in the shot put, sorry. But we've got Juliet McKinley, Hannah Hickson, Olivia Norris-Spring, Queenie Morgan, who we saw in the 100 metres earlier, Lara Hockley, Jackie Nisrabadi, Taylor Troe, Michaela Stanton, Brianna Stevenson, Maddie Wilson, Hunter Avery. So women's long jump coming up very soon. The men's discus is in its final stages. I mean, quite a long competition, but we are into round 6 there, and I can tell you, Nathaniel Salupo, we saw his excellent throw of 51.73. That put him in the lead. Blessing Sefo has got himself up into second place with a 46.96. And Jade Zaya with a 44.66 in round 6 is sitting comfortably there in third, just ahead of Max Perry from Australia. So if you've just tuned into the coverage here on Sky Sport 9 or on the Athletics New Zealand YouTube channel, it's great to have your company. My name's Hayden Sherman. With me is Holly Manning in the commentary booth. She's bringing the expert comments, and there's confirmation of our field in this women's long jump competition. This is the Potts Classic, the 26th running of this event, and we've got some of New Zealand's top track and field athletes on display here. We've got athletes from Australia and around the world taking part in this event as well. Key events still to come up on the track. The New Zealand 3,000 metre champs, men's and women's. The 100 metre finals are still to come, and of course the key event at any Potts Classic, the 800 metres. Look at that from Hannah 80. So clean over the bar at 370. So she gets her day underway and comfortably a mark on the board for Hannah 80. There's Aria Rhodes. So Aria Rhodes had a third time clearance at 360, bar now at 370. So we are certainly getting towards the pointy end of this women's pole vault competition, brought to you by Spence Pharmacies. Talea Vorster has had one miss at 370. Aria Rhodes one miss, but as we saw, Hannah 80 clear first attempt at 370. She's looking in good nick. She had a good competition earlier in the week at the pre-Potts event. And here's Elaine Zai, first look at 370. Oh, she had a clean sheet up until now, and that certainly puts her just behind the 8 ball, with Hannah 80 opening up with a first time clearance. So Hannah now comfortably in that first place position, with 3 athletes having first time misses at 370. So really heating up, and it's great to see, Holly Manning, these women being able to battle out at a Continental Bronze Tour event, this women's pole vault. Without the top 3 Kiwis here, no Imogen, no Eliza, no Olivia. And
yeah, true.
Gives them a chance to have the spotlight.
Yeah, I think so. And it sounds like Eliza is here watching still.
Yes,
so
yeah.
They've got her here supporting, and I'm sure she's got some words of wisdom as well for a few of these athletes. As you say, a lot of them are Bays Athletics girls, so they probably all know each other and can have a little chat on the sideline. And something I'm always envious of with the field eventers is they actually get time to...
They have a good time,
yeah,
don't they?
it does look actually quite fun, and they'll probably tell me that there's times when it's not as fun, but yeah, I'm quite jealous of that.
Oh, so just a little bit of an issue there for Talea Vorster, almost being shot out to the side there, so maybe just going up a pole in stiffness and just adjusting to that. But a second time miss there for Talea. And yes, got to say, as a middle distance runner, when you're doing, your acidosis training or your hard lactic sessions, and then you look over at the field events or the sprinters and you think, man, their life looks pretty appealing right now.
Yeah, although some of the stuff I see them doing, like, oh my gosh, they're so athletic,
Yes.
especially in the gym. I think I've learnt a lot from just being around some of those sprinters and field eventers, and what they do, the work they put in the gym is pretty incredible. And like the gymnastic skill of these pole vaulters too it's a lot more than just running, which is pretty much all I do. So.
Well, big vault there from Aria Rhodes. She is clear at 370. Her lifetime best is 375, so she's knocking on the door, gets a fist pump there from her fellow athletes, but big result. She is clear And it looked like she had a little bit of room to spare as well.
Yeah.
Right, women's discus. So the men have wrapped up their day in the circle and now handing over to the women. That one just going outside the sector. So the women throwing the 1 kg, and in this women's event we have Iorana Tofafo Tefeli, who we saw in the shot put. Now here's Elaine Zai's second attempt. Bronze medal at the Nationals, yes. Put the pieces all together in the puzzle for that one, and looking comfy at 370 on the second attempt. So let's go through this field of the women's discus, brought to you by Pack and Save Tamatea. We have Iorana, as I mentioned, and we've got Tatiana Komoana, Ruby Jones, who you can see on screen just to the right. Got Natalia Rankinchita, Mele Losalini Lose, and Carmen Maritz in there as well. So Tatiana Komoana, really the dominant force in women's discus throwing of recent years. Having won the national title 2023 and 2024. But keep an eye out for Natalia, who got second at the Nationals last year, and oh, just taking down the bar on that occasion. So clear on that women's pole vault is Hannah 80 first attempt, Aria Rhodes second attempt at 370, and Elaine Zai second attempt. Talea Vorster, 3 misses. She's out with a 360 best today, but all these athletes getting really close to their lifetime best. I love the Jamaica theme we've got going on here. All right, Hannah 80, bar at 380. Wow. Soars into the Hastings sky. Wow. I want to say there's a good 15 centimetres to spare there.
Yeah, maybe she's on for a PB tonight.
Impressive. So she's knocking on the door of 4 metres, lifetime best of 390. And here's our discus woman. So Komoana and Rankinchita are really the key names to keep an eye out for. And we've also got Shannon Murphy there, the para-athlete, who also threw the shot. She's lining up in the discus circle as well. So 7 athletes to keep an eye out for in the discus. And this is Aria Rhodes now. First look at 380. Now this will be a personal best. She gets 3 attempts. Coming in with good speed. Oh, yes! Wow. There it is. Aria Rhodes lifetime best here at the Potts Classic.
And like quite easily as well. That looks awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And this is why these athletes love coming here. The vaulters in particular really love this runway. They get this nice sea breeze that blows in off Hawke's Bay and just blows them down that runway. Warm conditions. Aria Rhodes lifetime best 380.
Such good camaraderie there between the girls as well. Hugs all around for PBs.
And when you think she had 2 misses at 360, third time clearance at 360, second time clearance at 370, and now all of a sudden she finds herself in second place, while the bronze medalist from the national champs, Elaine Zai, is thinking, oh my goodness, these other women are going clear first attempt at 380. I've got my work cut out for me if I want a little paycheck at the end of today. So she's sitting in third place, Elaine Zai, at the moment. But if she goes clear, she can hang on to that second place. Let's see. Yes, over. Wow, we've got a good competition on our hands here. 3 women clear at 380. Hannah 80, Aria Rhodes, Elaine Zai, all moving up. I believe we'll be going up to 390 next. And let's turn our attention to the Scott Clinic 400 metres men's, the one lapper. And this is going to be electric. I know we've got one scratching, unfortunately, from the men's 400. So no Lex Revell-Lewis, but we do have Tommy Te Puni, who ran so well just behind Lex down in Wellington. He's running in lane 6. Next to him, Kahurangi Cotterill, who is the New Zealand secondary schools and under-20 champion over the one lap. And then Jonathan Maples, he's been running so well over the hurdles, 400 hurdles. I really want to see what he can do here on the flat 400. And then what sort of times are these other boys going to be dragged to with these 3 speedsters taking up lanes 5, 6 and 7? As we go back to Hannah Barr at 390. First look at 390. Yes! Wow! So equaling her lifetime best. Man, she is looking in really good form. You just get the feeling that this could be a special day for Hannah and these other 2 vaulters, Elaine Zai and Aria Rhodes. Could we see one or maybe all 3 of these women have a look at 4 meters?
Cool. Yeah, if we all saw all 3 of them get to 4.
Right, Aria Rhodes. She's already posted a PB today, so lifetime best form. Can she go even higher? She has that relaxed approach on the runway, but that attempt just has a little look at it. She may not have ever seen a 390 bar in a competition setting, and so sometimes these athletes will go up and just have a little look. And then you get that mental awareness of, okay, I've got the first part of the vault, and then next time I'll give it a proper go. So early stages in the women's discus. We've got Natalia Rankinchita. She's out to an early lead with a 43.16. And Mele Losalene Lose gets the white flag. And that looked out close to 40 metres. So she's got a best of 47 metres. And then Carmen Maritz. Now, what are we thinking with this weather situation, Holly Manning? You're the local. I can see some black clouds behind us.
Yeah, to be fair, we can't see right behind us in the stands here, but from what I can see, this 180-degree view, I'm thinking I really hope we can keep it dry tonight. The wind does seem to be dropping back, which is sort of what I would expect with these Hawke's Bay evenings. You know, it can be a bit windy going into the afternoon. There's the sky. You can see some clouds there, but they're not looking too bad. So, yeah, we'll keep all our fingers and toes crossed as we've been doing all afternoon.
The forecast has been for thunder and lightning all afternoon and evening, but so far so good. And this 400 could be really hot, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Owen Reid in lane 3, and next to him Cameron Moss, then Kahurangi Cotterill, the New Zealand secondary schools champion, Tommy Te Puni, absolute speedster over the one lapper, Jonathan Maples really progressing well in the 4 hurdles, and Max Lua outside in lane 8. So all eyes on lane 5 with Kahurangi Cotterill, lane 6 Tommy Te Puni, Jonathan Maples in lane 7. And we're away cleanly in the 400 metres, brought to you by HB Orthotics. And Tommy Te Puni right up onto the shoulder early on Jonathan Maples. Kahurangi Kotoro's trying to stay with him, but at the moment it is Tommy Te Puni. He has the lead. Good, solid start from him. I want to say that's about 22 seconds for that first 200 metres. And look at this from Kahurangi Kotoro. He's hanging tough. What can, on the outside, Jonathan Maples do? Into the home straight now. Tommy Te Puni has the lead. Kahurangi Kotoro's right there. Tommy Te Puni, he's holding it together for the line. What's the time going to be? Whoa! Well, it's fast. But boy, I could smell the lactate from right up the top of the stands.
The grimace, the classic 400 grimace. And really good run there by Jackson Woolley as well, the para-athlete.
So it's confirmed as a meeting record. 46.64. I don't think that's a personal best for Tommy. But man, that was fast. It was such a fast first 200. I sort of had a quick look at the clock. I made it to be around 22 seconds.
Was it? Oh.
And so Tommy takes the win. 46.64. Kahurangi Kotoro 47.42. And then Jonathan Maples, big personal best from him, 47.57. And that's going to give him a lot of confidence for that 400 hurdles, knowing that, okay, I can run a 47 flat. All of a sudden that means that 400 hurdles, I think he's down to, what was it, 53 seconds at Cooks. And yes. Elaine Zai, she's over at 390. We've got a competition on our hands, ladies and gentlemen, in that women's pole vault. So exciting. So first time clearances for Hannah 80 and Elaine Zai at 390. Aria Rhodes has had 2 misses. She's had 2 looks at that bar at 390. But
at least she's had that sort of experience before in this competition, you know.
Yeah.
2 failed attempts. So hopefully she can keep that mental strength, and that's something I admire about these field eventers as well, is being able to keep strong after some failed attempts and get back to get a successful one. So I really hope she can.
And there's a lot of technical things that need to be tweaked as you go up in heights, whether it's pole choice, whether it's adjusting your run up, whether it's adjusting where the uprights sit, and giving yourself a little bit more room. She has one more look at it. She will bow out at the competition with a successful clearance at 380. That's the best she's ever done, so she'll be really, really happy with her day's work. She finishes in 3rd place, does Aria Rhodes. And it leaves us with Hannah 80 and Elaine Zai, who I believe has also posted a personal best with that 390 clearance. So we're in all-time form for these ladies. And they're loving the spotlight of the Potts Classic. Beautiful conditions for vaulting, and they're really coming into their own.
Underway here in the Hawke's Bay Orthodontics Women's 400 metres. Para-athlete Sasha
The bar now at 4 metres. Let's have a look. Hannah 80, first attempt. This will be a lifetime best. Can she get into the magic 4 metre club? She does.
Wow.
There it is. Hannah 80. We have another 4 metre vaulter. She joins the club. Massive result. You can look in the background. All of her competitors know what that means. Forevermore, she will be a 4 metre vaulter.
She'll be so stoked with that.
And we've seen every vault she's done, no miss. She's looked so clean. Now, let's jump back to the women's 400. Turn our attention to the first of our heats. Now, we have Sasha Aldazani wearing the yellow of Egmont Athletics. She's a T38 para-athlete. We've also got Elisa Palmer from Hastings Athletics and Sasha Kilmeister from Mana. The 17-year-old. Now, she's out the lead. She has posted a 58.34 lifetime best, so she's expected to win. And we'll see. It's almost 3 races as they sort of time trial their way to the finish and hope to get the best out of themselves. So, of course, unfortunate for these athletes, there wasn't room for them in the A final. But
she would have just missed out too.
Yeah, coming in with that best of 58.34, which is a great time for a 17-year-old. But here she comes, Sasha Kuhlmeister. Coming up to the line. It'll be a tick under 60 seconds. Great work from Sasha, and here comes Alyssa Palmer, local girl. And that could be a personal best for Alyssa. And here comes Sasha Altazani. And good solid time from Sasha.
Definitely a PB for her.
Yeah.
1 minute 7.95.
And it's the great thing, even if there's quite a distance between athletes, just being in that race setting and having someone else who's experiencing what you're experiencing at the same time.
Definitely, and key. People in the stands cheering for you, of course, always helps.
Right, Elaine Zai, first attempt at 4 meters. No. So that'll put her in second place as she's watched Hannah go clear. But she's in lifetime best form tonight. So we've had 3 big personal bests today in the pole vault. At least 3 that I've kept track of. It's been an all-time competition from these ladies. And this is sort of the I don't know, the next generation of vaulters who are sort of just waiting in the wings behind, of course, Imogen Eris, Olivia McTaggart and Eliza McCartney. And how cool was that, seeing the 3 of them in the final at the Olympics?
So exciting. Yeah, that was honestly one of the highlights of the Olympics for me, I think, as well as I'm sure many watchers in New Zealand. Yeah,
unfortunate for Eliza to have that sort of injury. It would have been great to see her in top form, but just having those 3 Kiwi women vaulting in the final is just exceptional. All right, start list for the women's 400A final. We've got Grace Wisniewski, Zita Mia Diego, who have seen tonight already, Kate Borton, Madeline Waddell, Isabel Neal, Jordan Blake, Holly Rule. This is a really classy 400. And a lot of these women have been in good form. In particular, I'm thinking Isabel Neal, who showed so much promise a couple of years ago. She's battled injury since then, but seems like she's getting back to top form again.
Definitely, yeah. I think her and Jordan Blake had a really good race recently up in Auckland. And Kate Borton as well has PB'd this season. So I think they'll all be looking, obviously you're always looking for a PB, but I think tonight, as we've said, the conditions are pretty good. They've all got each other around similar times to push each other. And yeah, having Izzy back in top form, I think is pretty exciting for the 400 in general.
So you got Mia DeJager, she's the 200-metre New Zealand Secondary Schools champion. Kate Borton came silver in this event at that championship. Madeline Waddell took it out. Then Isabel Neal, of course, has medalled in this event at a senior level in the past. Jordan Blake just outside of her, and then Holly Rule, the under-18 gold medalist back in 2020 in the one-lapper. But here we go. We're coming up to the 200 mark, and it's looking like Madeline Waddell has made up a lot of that stagger early on. Isabel Neal just on the outside of her, Jordan Blake. So these 3 women coming into this last bend. Let's see who's got the strength as they round out, coming into the home straight. A good run from Madeline Waddell, sitting in first place as they come off the bend. Isabel Neal just grimacing a little bit, but on to the finishing straight here. Madeline Waddell has the lead. Isabel Neal's there. Who can close? Who can hold on? It is Madeline Waddell for the win. Isabel Neal, and then Jordan Blake holds on to third place. Wow, well, it was a good, strong first 200 from Madeline Waddell.
Yeah, that was an excellent run by her. It was so strong and confident. That last 100 was, you could tell she was fighting, but I think everyone who runs a 400 the last 50 metres is pretty horrible.
She really hung tough, and she'd made up a lot of that stagger early.
She did.
And the danger, of course, is that you've spent that first part of the race chasing because you're on the inside thinking, I need to catch up to them. But it can definitely backfire if you don't pace yourself well, but she did.
Looks like a PB for a couple of girls too, perhaps Mia de Jager.
Elaine Zai, second attempt at 4 metres. She had a little look at the last one. This time she gave it a good go, knocked it off with her feet. She'll be starting to feel like, okay, that's a couple of pieces of the puzzle. The final one is still to come. And so one more attempt for Elaine. She's seen Hannah 80 clear 4 metres for the first time. And we are going to cross over to Mark Rosanowski, who's tracked down.
Down here with Tommy Te Puni. He's just taken out the 400 metres, Tommy, and an improvement on your time from Wednesday night. So down to a, what was it, 46 and 64 tonight. How are you feeling about that?
Improvement from Wednesday, but just trying to keep going up or keep lowering the times as I run through more and more of these meets. So yeah, it's going all right.
You were chasing a lure on Wednesday night behind Lex Revell-Lewis, and he was only just outside the national record. How did you feel about your run midweek?
To be honest, it was a terrible run. I've had some pretty hard loading training sessions, a few weeks of that, so just trying to come out of that, which anyone who does that sort of training knows how long that can take. But Lex is running really well, give him his props. But I plan to be there soon, but just keep going from here.
It's been a busy week for you. I think you ran 22.18 for the 200 at the Cooks last Saturday.
Yeah, that was all right. I mean, it's a bit off what I ran in Australia a few months ago in 20.75. Into a headwind, so trying to recapture that form a bit. But yeah, so going back to some speed training and try to just keep improving on there.
How about the conditions tonight? Headwinded to the back straight. How'd you find it?
To be honest, in comparison to but always prefer a tailwind down the back, because I mean you're already tired when you come into the home straight, or even a still one. But yeah, compared to what I ran on Wednesday, it was good.
So what's ahead? Sir Graham Douglas next week?
Yes, most likely I'll be running there. I think some internationals are coming over as well, so that'll be good.
And you're looking 400 there because you're in the 100 tonight, but are you going to pull out of that?
Yeah, I'm not running the 100 tonight, but yeah, probably the 400 there, 1 and 4 maybe, but we'll see how that goes.
And that long at 46.09, can you do it?
Yes, I believe so. I mean, at the moment, how it's going, Lex might get there first, but I plan to take it further than that, so yeah, we'll see.
Exciting times with a couple of young men here in the 400 metres. Tommy Te Puni taking the victory tonight, 46.64.
Yeah, exciting times indeed with that one lapper. Now we've cross our attention to the 2 lappers, and this is the first of our 800 metre heats, and this is the men's B final. So we've got 12 athletes lining up in this one. George Lewis, Oliver Foley, Lloyd Creera, Vaughan Murray, Zach Manning, Mason Waterworth, Robert Norman, Aidan Gailey, Samuel Stitchberry, Owen Reid, Cooper Danks and Corvin O'Rourke. A lot of young guns taking on some of our seniors, and we can expect this to be something just a tick under 2.
Yeah, I hope so. My brother's actually in this, Zach Manning,
nice,
so
good stuff.
He told me he was looking to go under 2. So yeah, that looks like they've got an athlete there. I can't quite see who he is, but he's taking out the lead, so that'll help the others.
Yeah, so good start. Looked like about 30 seconds. And is that one of our maybe Robert Norman at the lead there? And then we've got our Wellington Harriers, Mason Waterworth just on the outside of him. So Mason comes into the lead now to take it up to the bell. And let's see what we split through. So bang on 60 seconds. Let's see how these boys can kick it down from here.
Yeah, traditionally it's quite hard to negative split an 800. So we'll see if they can do it.
So Mason Waterworth in the lead, now starting to kick on. Robert Norman just losing touch with him a little. Samuel Stitchberry's right there as well, as is Vaughan Murray. Zach Manning is right there sitting in 5th place. And now closing up that gap. Look at this, bit of a move here from, is that Vaughan Murray taking the lead. Look at
he's really going for it.
With with 200 metres to go, wearing number 4 on the hip, Vaughan Murray. He's pumping the arms. Has he gone too soon? You can see the pain on these athletes' face. But here he comes, Vaughan Murray, kicking for home in the B final here at the 800 metres at the Sylvia Potts Classic. And he's going to take it. Dips under 2 minutes. Puts his finger in the air, claims the win. We talked about how hard it is to negative split. I think he just
I think he did it. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how you do it.
That is exactly how you do it. Very, very good run. Looked so strong there, going from 200.
Really impressive kick there. So 159 from Vaughan Murray. That's a 58.8 last lap, which is pretty impressive to turn it around. Robert Norman in second, Aidan Gailey in third place, Zach Manning in fourth with a 2:01. So it was just Vaughan Murray dipping under that 2 minute mark.
And George Lewis, he was there at 2 minutes, 8.06.
Using the field for the men's open shot put and para multi-class shot put.
So Vaughan Murray is coming through as a personal best for Vaughan.
Yeah, I think those athletes probably would have liked a little bit of a faster first 400. As I said, it's quite hard to negative split, but I mean, it's close to that 2 flat.
Yeah. And here's the boys from the Discus earlier.
From Gisborne Athletic Club, Jack Adams.
Still on.
And from Kiwi Athletic Club, Corin Henning.
So I mentioned these were the Discus guys. Of course, they've gone from the Discus over to the shot put. So the senior men's shot is going to get underway very, very soon. And we've got Nick Palmer, who has found himself into the 20-metre club. We saw Hannah 80 go into the 4-metre club in the pole vault. And Nick Palmer last year at this event went into that magic 20-metre club. The Hastings boy, there you can see him wearing the Walsh Shot t-shirt. He is our top-ranked athlete coming into this. But behind him are some really hungry boys to get closer to him. I had a little chat to Blessing Sefor earlier in the day, and he was like, yeah, it's awesome having Nick out there as a target to chase and proving that the other guys can do it. It's not just the Tom Walsh Jacko show. These other guys have some good footprints to follow, and that man in the middle of your screen, Liam Nachok-Wolf, mullet absolutely on point, and he's been in personal best form this year already, getting out to 17.92. And all these guys know each other really well. There's our start list, Angus Liver. We've seen a bit of him today, multi-eventer. He's mixing it up with the big boys. Blessing Sefor, Nick Palmer, as we mentioned, Nathaniel Salopo, Han Ornell, and Liam Nachok-Wolf. And in the para division, we've got Corin Hanning in there. And of course Jack Adams, the F46 athlete now. The women's 800 metres. Now this is the B final, and we've got 14
It's quite a busy race.
We might need traffic lights out there, but let me run through the start list as we get underway with this. Madison McLean, Liberty McIntyre, Reet, Emma Very, Hannah McManus, Paige Scannell, Paige Dobson, Nina Chalmers, Izzy DeHere, Amy Nicol, Sylvia Allen, Gabby Newman, Maggie Thompson, Anita Siviel Delstaco, and Annie Creer. So big field. But a few of our top performing junior athletes from the New Zealand secondary schools featuring in this one. They go through the first 231 seconds, so pretty quick.
Yeah, pretty quick. Paige Dobson's been having an awesome season. She ran in the 1500 down at Capital on Wednesday and had a really good run up with the senior girls, so I think this should be a good race for her.
Now, do we know who the pacemaker is? She's just having a little look at her watch. Not sure who that is, but Paige Dobson just tucked in there, and then it is Emma Very and McManus there as well. So those three just tucked in behind the pacer as they go through in 1:05. So setting them up for a time around about 2:10, 2:12, which could be some big PBs for some of these ladies.
Yeah, Paige's PB is 2:12, so she'll be definitely looking to go under that. And Pace is doing an excellent job of staying in there. You know, longer you can have the pacer there, the better.
All right, now Paige Dobson has that wind. It's a gentle wind, but it's a headwind right now. And so she's going to have to do that work out the front. This is the painful part of an 800.
Yeah, it's so painful. Yeah, I'm just looking at them now. It makes me feel sick.
What do you tell yourself right now?
Oh, you just have to go for it. Like the tactics in an 800 is you don't think about the 400. The second 200 you focus, and then the last 200 you just go for it. You put in everything you have, and you can see with these girls here, that's exactly what they're doing right now, fighting the lactic.
Really lining up now into this last 100 metres, and Paige Dobson just starting to feel the pressure from these ladies behind, because Nina Chalmers has found herself in the lead. She's timed that run to absolute perfection. Look at how fresh she is on the home straight. Nina Chalmers, she's going to take it out in about 2:13. Paige Dobson hangs on for a tough fourth second. But that was a well-timed effort from Nina Chalmers. We didn't really talk much about her,
yeah,
but
that was
she
excellent.
won the gold medal in the New Zealand Secondary Schools Junior 800. Well, that was back in 2023, apologies. But really using that race experience to time her run to the finish.
Yeah, there were some excellent PBs in there too. I know Liberty McIntyre was trying to go under 2:20, and I think she ran about 2:16 there. So
wow.
Huge PB.
Massive. Impressive running from all these women, just sucking in the oxygen now,
really
trying to recover. It's a brutal event. But the good thing is with the 800 is the pain is ideally somewhere between sort of 60 to 70 seconds worth of pain.
Yeah.
And then it's recovery time.
Yeah, it's not like your 1500, which can be pretty painful for a while.
Yeah,
so
you've got a couple of minutes of pain, or the 3K, you've got a few laps of darkness to get
Totally,
through.
yeah. For this, it's like, you know, the last 20-30 meters, it's not a fun time. But you're done. It's over quickly.
Hannah 80 now. Is this at 4:10? Wow. She's just in disbelief of what she's doing today. And we could tell early on, she was just so clean over every bar. First attempt at 470, she just sailed over it. And then 370, sorry, and since then has just continued to progress. So the bar is now at 405. Trying to get confirmation. So that was a second time clearance at 405. So she's in absolute lifetime best. She's targeting World University standards, which haven't been released. So she's sort of walking in the dark here. But first look at 410. Oh, it was a good attempt. Like, the foot took it down, but she's not scared of the height.
No, you can tell, like, she looks pretty comfortable there.
So you got to think this young athlete, she does a lot of work coaching some of her peers.
She does, yeah. I see her at Mount Smart, at Mesh a lot, and yeah, you can really tell she puts in the work with all the girls she's training.
And often that coaching, getting an eye for what to look for other people, you really learn yourself and learn more about yourself. They say that you really learn something once you actually teach it to someone else.
It's the same thing with Jane Stain, who also won the men's pole vault, coaching a lot too. So it's really cool to see these athletes giving back.
Absolutely. Right, Liam Nachuk-Wolf. First look at Liam spinning well in the circle. He posted a PB at Cooks. That mullet looks glorious as it spins around the circle. So Liam, he is chasing Nick Palmer already, who is out to 18.17. But that's a 17.14, so good opener from Liam. He's into second place. Blessing Sefor is in third with a 15.17. Nathaniel Sulupo in fourth with a 15.27. And this is our first look at our para-athletes in the shot put circle. Jack Adams. And that looked like a good first opener out beyond 12 metres. And there's Corin Hanning, who's just 21 years of age. And we're going to cross down to Mark Rosanowski very soon, who has tracked down Madeline Waddell, who is still recovering from her 400, as you'd expect. But what a day in the pole vault. It's been a really great competition. There's just so many women hitting personal bests, cheered along by Eliza McCartney, who's somewhere up on the embankment. I'm sure James Stain is down there giving instructions to athletes. But this woman has opened up a new chapter in her career. She's 22 years of age, out of Auckland. And could this be the summer where she steps into a new realm? Now, the New Zealand Championships, the 3,000 metres. This year we've had the 10,000 metre champs so far. We've had the mile champs. Now the third lot of senior medals to hand out. 7.5 laps round the track at the Ellen and Sylvia Potts Classic. Perfect conditions for 3,000 metre running. And Holly Manning, we've got a field on our hands.
Yes, I think this is a very exciting race to watch. I have been told there is no pacer for this, so it'll be interesting to see how the tactics play out, whether, you know, it ends up tactical or somebody takes it out. I think it'll be in some of these girls' best interest to take it out to stop the kind of speed demons coming in. So I think the ones to watch will be like Bridget Dennehy, Laura Nagel, Tilly Hollier as well, and Eva Pringle's been having some really good runs recently. So we've also got Crystal Clark, who's just back from the States. So this is her first race back, I believe, back on New Zealand soil.
Awesome.
Yes, she'll be excited, I think.
Always great to have those athletes who arrive back from the collegiate system and continue their running into the senior ranks here. But I don't know how many national titles we've got made up in this field, but the likes of Laura Nagel, she's 12-time New Zealand senior champ. Anika Arledge, 5-time senior champ. We've got world cross-country representatives with the likes of Emily Rowan and the up-and-comers like Scarlett Robb. Here is Hannah 80, last chance, 4:05. Whoa, was that the second attempt though? I believe she's got one more. Yeah, she's got one more, so more to come. So hold that thought. But yeah, the youngsters coming through, and then the experienced campaigners like Laura Nagel. What do we think tactics-wise?
I think that, the likes of your Annie Arledge, Bridget Dennehy, if they take it out and make it a hard race, that should really, really help them.
Yeah.
But, Laura, it might pay for her. She's also running the 800 later, so
wow.
She might want to save something in the tank for that. Oh, she really is, yeah.
All within
she
an hour.
did say that herself as well. She said, I don't know what's wrong with me.
And we're away here at the Ellen and Sylvia Potts Classic, the 26th running of this event. The 3K is always a feature here, and this is the national champ, 7.5 laps, where we find out who is going to be another national champion. Will it be someone like Laura Nagel or Annie Arledge who have taken national titles, or will we see a newcomer stamp their mark and claim their first ever national title? Straight to the front goes Annie Arledge. Doesn't look in too much of a hurry. Laura Nagel just keeping an eye on proceedings on the outside, running in lane 2 in about 4th position as they go through 200 metres in 38 seconds. So it's not blistering, but it's also not too lazy at this stage.
Yeah, I think Annie's definitely going to be conscious of what I said before, just wanting to take it out and make it hard from the start. Yeah, you've also got Tamara Reeves there as well. She's also just back from the States.
Awesome.
I know that she has done a few races in New Zealand since she's been back, so yeah, this will be a good race to watch. Looking like it's already sort of stringing out slightly.
So Annie Arledge takes it through 400 metres in 76 seconds. Now Hannah 81 last attempt. That was close. That'll give her a lot of encouragement at 4:10. She's hit some big personal bests. Some new barriers have been broken for her. She is a 4-metre vaulter. Big day in the office, and she can be really pleased, not just about the numbers, but the quality of that vaulting. It looked like she was really in control, really smooth, and really owning her place at the top of the podium here at the Potts Classic. Now, starting to stretch out a bit as we go through 600 metres. You can see there's Scarlett Robb, who's had a good summer at the Cooks Classic and Capital Classic. But at the front, Annie Arledge. She always looks like she's smiling when she's running.
She looks like such a happy runner, yeah.
Always good to see. Some people have that game face and just express all the pain that they're feeling.
Yeah.
Others, like Annie, you've got no idea how she's really feeling on the inside.
It's a good tactic though, isn't it? Just pretend you're out on a nice Sunday long run or something.
Yes, yeah. And so no real breaks. We've still got all 20 athletes within contact of this main bunch, but it is strung out to either 1 or 2 abreast. But it's Annie Arledge, then it's Reeves, Laura Nagel just tucked in there in 3rd. Can she win her 13th senior title? Eva Pringle is right there. Bridget Dennehy, she's really come into her own over the last probably 18 months. I remember she won the first ever New Zealand road mile title.
In Rotorua.
1K in 3:13, so times that by 3, and we're looking at something around about 9:40. Now that's well within the range of Laura Nagel, who's posted a sub 9 last year.
Yeah, I think this being a New Zealand champs, they're less looking for a fast time, you know, they're looking for that win. So that's why I guess the time is potentially, I don't want to speak too soon, you never know, they could go for a blistering last K. But yeah, I think that's why we're seeing a lot of these athletes still there in the race. Some really, really top names up there as well. So it'll be interesting how, the next K plays out.
And this right on screen here, ladies and gentlemen, is an expression of how strong female domestic distance running is right now. A lot of these women train together. There's just a fantastic community, and the fact that all of these women are capable of running mid-9s, low 9s in the case of the top runners, really is just such a testament to the community that's been built.
Yeah, definitely.
And particularly up in Auckland.
Yeah, having the Bays squad up there with under Paul Hamlin has definitely helped a lot of these girls. And it's really cool to see the age range as well. We've got, from 32 down to, I think the youngest in this one is 17. So it's cool, because when I feel like I was that age, there wasn't too many girls in their late 20s, early 30s, and I think it shows that you can keep running until that age and have a lot of success as well. So It's really, really awesome for everybody to just have that community, and everybody knows each other too and supports each other, and I think it's really telling when you watch a race like this.
Absolutely. And what an opportunity to have a tactical national champs like this, where you've got so many women running shoulder to shoulder, and we're going to see an extremely exciting last kilometre or so, because you've got to think at some point one of these runners is going to say, okay, I don't want Laura with me in that last 400, so I need to go earlier than that.
Yeah, Eva Pringle might be one of those athletes as well. She's been running exceptionally well. So yeah, it actually looks like she might be about to go and do that now. She might have said, I've had enough.
Annie Arledge, she took the lead at the start, and she continues in with 3 laps to go, 1,200 metres left to run. So that pack has been whittled down. We're just sort of getting stragglers off the back, but the pack is getting 3 wide, which means, yeah, the likes of Eva Pringle, you can see Scarlett Robb just at the back there, Emily Rowan there. A lot of these athletes just thinking, okay, when am I going to make my move? And we can expect to see some fireworks go over the next 600 metres or so. But so far, Annie Arledge doing a great job of setting this up for the rest of them.
Yeah, well done, Annie.
They go through 6:29 through 2K. So still on track for something around about 9:40, but we can expect a massive kick down over this last K. In fact, I'll write 6:29 down, and we'll get some splits over this last kilometre, because there will be fireworks. Now Laura Nagel starts to have a sniff at the front of the race. Eva Pringle comes onto the shoulder. And Sasha Letica just there as well. Laura moves to the front. She's wanting to take this race by the scruff of the neck. 800 metres, is it too late for someone to make a move from a long way out? Will it come down to a kicker's race?
It's looking like it's starting to pick up. You can see Scarlett Robb going around the outside a little bit now too, pushing up on Sasha Letica.
So
Tilly Hollier's running very well too.
11 women in with a hunt, with 700 metres left to run. It's starting to pick up the pace. Laura Nagel is pressing the gas ever so slightly. Every 100 metres or so, she's injecting a little bit more speed. So that pack of 11 in the space of 200 metres has been broken down to 8. Emily Rowan just struggling to stay on the tail there of Scarlett Robb. And as I say that, she just makes up that ground. So there's 9 athletes, well, 8 athletes in that top group. We're just losing 1 athlete off the back at a time. Laura Nagel in the lead. Eva Pringle just tucked in there. Bridget Dennehy now just rounds past Eva Pringle. Laura Nagel, she's done this so many times. She's won 12 national titles. We're into the last 400 metres now. Laura Nagel, she's got that hunger. She's got that expression on her face that's taken her to so many national titles. And now 300 metres to go. She's putting the pressure on the rest of the pack.
Yeah, you can see Bridget holding there. She's holding really well. She does have a lot of speed despite being a very good marathon runner. She's pretty exceptional over the shorter distances too. So looks like Eva Pringle's catching up on her too.
Laura Nagel in the lead with 200 metres to go. Will this be 13 national titles, or can someone pull out a massive last 200 metres? There's a bit of movement behind. Emily Rowan is starting to come up towards the medal positions, but Laura Nagel, she's right up on her toes. She's driving to the finish. It will be 13 national titles, surely. Bridget Dennehy behind her is showing the speed that you talked about, Ollie Manning, but the crowd rises to their feet because this is another home girl, a home favourite. Laura Nagel, she'll take her 13th national title. She's your 3,000 metre national champion. Bridget Dennehy in second, Eva Pringle in third. Emily Rowan can't quite get herself onto the podium, but that was commanding from Laura.
That really was, yeah. Like, she just took it with that 800 to go, I think it was, and then, yeah, really made the other girls work for it. And you could see Bridget did really well as well in that last 200 to kind of come back. You see she injected that little bit more speed, as you said. Some fantastic runs there by some younger girls too. I think there'll be some PBs there for sure, all under 10 minutes. So it's quite amazing to have that many girls run under 10 minutes. Like, that's quite
Amazing.
a barrier for girls.
Oh, yeah, brilliant running. And like you say, to have 20 women in this final and to have them all within contact over that last kilometre. And then it just seemed like once it hit 800 to go and we saw Laura make her way to the front, you kind of felt like the plot had been written by then.
Yes, yeah. It was all a race for about second, third and fourth after that. Yeah, which is exactly what Laura would have wanted to happen, I think. And hopefully she saved a bit in the tank for the 800. I'm very excited to watch that. She'll be off getting that good recovery now, I hope, drinking some fluids.
Yeah, it's almost like she's just going to have to do a little walk around and stay warm.
Yeah, well, it's not very long. It's the 800 is at 7:40, so
35 minutes of recovery, Laura. Yeah. Whatever you're going to do, and she's got to do an interview. So we're going to cross down to Mark Rosanowski, who has Laura Nagel, who's claimed her 13th senior women's national title.
Down here with Laura Nagel's just taken out another 3,000 metre title. I count it as your fourth in the most recent 2023. Laura, how does it feel?
Yeah, it's good. I just wanted to kind of go out there and see how today was going to go. Training's been a bit rocky the last couple months, and this feels like the most underprepared I've come into a race, so you just never know. But yeah, always happy to take the win, and it's home, so always good.
Indeed. In terms of tactics, you were handy to the pace, took over with about, 600 to go?
Yeah, I think around about that. I felt okay. I didn't want to have to sprint too quick at the end just with an 800 soon. But yeah, no, it was fine. It's kind of played out how I thought it would.
I think you ran a very quick time in Cork in July over the 3,000, is that right?
Yeah, I did. There was a really awesome series of races in about 8 days, and I was probably not feeling my best on that day either, so I was pretty happy with how that went. I'd love to chop that down even further. Earlier today, Kim May ran like an 8:44 in the States, which is amazing, so I'd love to get closer to that.
Now you're backing up in the 800 metres. That's a quick backup off the 3K. Have you done that before?
I've never done that before. I wanted to do something a little bit different this year. Ideally would have loved to have felt in better shape than I currently am, but always a good challenge, and I guess the distance runner in me is like 2 laps is too short.
But you've been bringing your 800 metre time down as well.
Yeah, that's been fun. I guess one of those ones where I just never expected to run as quick as I have over that. Still a lot of work to do there, but I don't train for 800, so it's kind of a bonus event, I suppose.
Hey, look, your day's away, I think, from your 33rd birthday, so what's the plan from... Yeah, sorry.
Thanks for reminding me.
What's your plan for the remainder of the season? Do you back up next weekend at the Sue Graham Douglas?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm hoping to get to Australia as well. Just got to see how the next few weeks training goes. So yeah, but Australia would be good, and then nationals.
Feature distance this year?
1,500 still. Yep.
Good on you, Laura. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Laura Nagel there after a 1,500 metre win and a 3,000 metre win, and 800 metres coming soon.
Yeah, Laura Nagel just filling up that sock drawer with those national medals and national titles. Number 13, I make it. So 9:24 was her time, and that shows you how quick that last K was. So they went through in 6:29, so that's a 2:55 last kilometre, which is blazing.
Yeah, very quick, and lots of PBs there, which I think you can tell with that last K. That's the only reason they got those PBs, as you say.
Yeah, look at that, right down the list. So, some of those younger athletes getting really good toe to the finish line. And how cool is it to have just so much depth?
So much depth, yeah, it's pretty incredible. A lot of those girls will walk away being very happy with that, which is great.
And we saw Annie Arledge just pull off with about 400 to go. So I don't know if she was there for some unofficial pacemaking duties, but that's how it sort of ended up at the end. But just peeling off with 400 to go. Now, next up on the track, we turn our attention to the men's 800, and then it will be the men's 3K, and then the women's 800. But before that, we have this very speedy final of the men's 100 metres. And this is going to be blazing fast because we saw a lot of these guys mid-10s. Shay Veitch looked really fast out of the blocks. He's wearing the Ariki green there in lane 3. So we've got Troy Middleton in lane 2, Shay Veitch, Caden Taylor, Lex Revell-Lewis, Hiato Yanito, Rylan Nume, and Joshua Adegoke. This is a really quality field, given that we don't have Tian Welton here. But here we are, the 100 metres here at the Potts Classic. Shay Veitch off to a blazing start. Look at him go. Shay Veitch has the lead. Here he comes to the finish. Whoa! Lex Revell-Lewis takes second, just a tick ahead of Caden Taylor. But Shay Veitch was out of the blocks. Wow.
What a race.
10.34, ladies and gentlemen, with a 0.9 tailwind. That's a massive PB for Shay Veitch, a massive mark. I want to say it's a PB for Lex Revell-Lewis with a 10.49. Potentially a PB for Yonito as well, but wow, these guys were blazing. Look at that, head down, up to speed, knees driving, on the toes. Shay Veitch is back. He is back. Wow.
Perfect conditions tonight for a time like that, isn't it?
So good. 0.9 tailwind. Shay Veitch picked up the national 100 metre title a few years ago. Some said that that was taking advantage of the fact that there was no Eddie, there was no Tian, and it was sort of maybe a weaker year. But that 10.34 definitely makes a statement to say, well, he's back and in really, really good form. We'll see if he focuses more on the long jump. He's been knocking on the door of 8 metres previously. 7.99 is his record. And with that sort of speed, you've got to think he's going to be a threat over the 100 and the long jump this year. What a win from Shay Veitch. Lex Revell-Lewis obviously not focusing on the 100 these days, more the 2 and the 400, but he's got to be encouraged by that 10.49, giving him that confidence that the speed ceiling is there.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell he definitely has that speed in his legs. And Rylan Nume there will be really happy with that season's best, I think, coming back from injury, like I mentioned in the heat. So, yeah, all around a good race.
Great race, and really sets the tone for the women's 100 metres, which will be coming up next. We will try and keep you updated with the senior men's shot and see how that's going. That's the last field event happening. I can tell you Nick Palmer has the lead in that event as we see the so just trying to get some results through. So this was the 800B result. We saw that great finish from Nina Chalmers, just timed her finish to perfection over the last 200. Almost came from nowhere to take it out in 2:13 and a new personal best. Paige Dobson hung tough after having that lead for much of the race. And some good PBs down the line there as well.
Yeah, I think Paige might be a bit disappointed with that, but to be fair to her, she's had a pretty tough week, you know, Cooks, then Capital, then this, so hopefully she'll be able to take the next week to recover before. I'm not sure if she'll be up for Sir Graham Douglas, but whatever's next for her. So, yeah, being still quite young, I think she should still walk away pretty happy from the last few weeks.
Yeah. And mentioning Sir Graham Douglas, that's on Sunday night next weekend, so set your calendars. Sunday night, which is West Auckland. So if you're in the Auckland area, this is the #1 athletics meet in, well, basically the Upper North Island. So make sure you find your way to Trust Arena there in Henderson. But this is the final of the women's 100 metres here at the Potts Classic. This is Jackie Nasrabadi in lane 1, Alexandra Domansky, Brianna Irving, Madeline Waddell, Kendra Skelly-Tui, who look really good in the heats, Kiana Pohi, Georgia Gibbons, and Caitlin Black. So keep your eyes on Brianna Irving in lane 3 wearing the purple. Madeline Waddell in the New Zealand secondary schools, all black, and Kendra Skelly-Tui just next to her. Kiana Pohi had a good start as well, but here we are, getting the good start this time. Brianna Irving out quickly. Skelly-Tui is running well, and it's very close. Look at Kiana Pohi coming in close. Brianna Irving, oh, those three. A blanket finish. Brianna Irving, Kendra Skelly-Tui, Kiana Pohi, so close on the line. I've got no idea who took that one out.
I don't think they'll know either.
So Brianna Irving got that good start, but middle of the race, Kiana Pohi really surged well, and just getting the dip is Brianna Irving. 12:05 is her time, 0.7 meters per second tailwind, so all these times will stand for personal best. And Kiana Pohi 12:07, Kendra Skelly-Tui 12:08, so 0.03 of a second separating these three.
100 metres for men, Shay, at 10:34. I think you might have done that wind assisted. This time it's legal. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, the second time I've been in Hastings and run 10:34. This time I didn't have a +3 down the back, but yeah, the training's been going well. I was thinking 10:2. My coach Mike, was saying 10:3, so Mike's always right. That's what I've learned. Yeah.
And conditions almost ideal.
Yeah, I kind of love this like muggy, warm weather. Reminds me of Dunedin. I'm living up north now, but I'm still getting used to the weather, but it's been good.
So you just moved up to Cambridge. What's the reason behind that?
New job over at St. Peter, so that's all going well. The training facilities up there are lovely too, so yeah, happy to be there.
Yeah. Look, the hairdo must be helping. Looks a bit thinner than what I saw.
Yeah. Me and Rylan were both running the buzz cut and the pink shoes, so I should tell Tia, like, as soon as he shaves his head, he's breaking 10. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah. Look, we know you as a long jumper too, of course, and that 8 metres is looming. You've got to 7.99. Will we see you next week on the long jump?
Yes, I'll be in Auckland. I've pretty much got 2 years of progress coming in. I didn't speak about this too much last season because I'm not a man of excuses, but pretty much got wiped off a motorbike by a car. So that season didn't go to plan, but things are tracking well now. So yeah.
Are you one for big goals? Bob Thomas's remarkable 1968 record. It's only a few centimetres away. Is it up for you?
Yes, well, it's got to be with that sort of speed. It tends to help. That record is something else. I don't know how he did that on grass, so probably be comparable to like an 8:30 nowadays. So yeah, it'd be lovely to have that though.
Great to see you in great shape, Shay. All the best.
Thank you.
Shay Veitch there. We look forward to seeing him in the sandpit next week as he looks for that elusive 8-metre jump, but he's in great shape. 10:34 legal tonight. A personal best legal time for him over the 100 metres.
And hopefully no more motorbike accidents for Shay Veitch. Now in the background we actually had Nick Palmer throw out a 19:29 in the shot put, so he takes out that competition. But here's a confirmation of those fantastic finish by Brianna Irving, just dipping to take the win here at the final of the women's 100 metres, and brought to you by Lawson Robinson Lawyers. And Brianna Irving taking out the Potts Classic, so great day at the office for her. We've got the women's long jump just coming towards the closing stages of that competition, so that's the final field event happening. Next up on the track will be the men's 800. And we've got a field of 11 lining up in this one. Good, strong field. And I want to see if we can get any of these boys under that magic 150. You can see Cooper Whiteman there, personal best of 150.46. He's the fastest in the field, but we saw Benjamin Wall run a 4:03 mile just the other day at Cook's Classic. Luke Everett with a 151, Costa Mills 153, Fletcher Van Hooven 152. So a lot of these guys are capable of those low 150s, but much like we saw Hannah 80 going into the 4 metre zone, 800 metre male runners want a 1.4.
Yeah, that's a pretty big barrier to break, and I do think, as we've seen lots of PBs go down tonight, that tonight could be a good opportunity for these guys. The wind has pretty much dropped dead now. There is no movement in any of the flags. So, yeah, tonight might be the night for these guys.
Yeah, ideal conditions for 800-metre running. Like Shay Veitch said, nice and warm, nice and muggy, ideal for the warm-up. And here we go at the Alan and Sylvia Potts Classic, the 26th running of this event. This is the 800-metre A race. 11 athletes from all around New Zealand taking part of this. Justin Cunningham, we've got Blake Miskell, Yarg Gunnar Willers, we've got Costa Mills, we've got 6 of the national champs. Benjamin Wall, who is the 2024 Road Mile New Zealand champion. Luca Evatt, Cooper Whiteman, Fletcher Van Hooven, Quinn Moss, Max Wildboar and Felix Field. So going straight to the front is Luca Evatt, and I believe he'll be on some sort of pacemaking duties. Costa Mills just lining up behind him. Cooper Whiteman keeping close eye on attention. Van Hooven is just there as well as they go through in 56 seconds.
Yeah, Ben Wall and Costa are both in really good positions there. I'm not sure. Luca Evatt may not be pacing. He might just be gunning for it. Who knows? There goes Ben Wall.
So Ben Wall looking strong on the back straight now, coming onto the shoulder of Luca Evatt. Luca Evatt in the lead, but just as I say that, Benjamin Wall goes around using that strength that took him to the 403 mile, took him to the New Zealand Road Mile champs, and opening up this lead. Look at this from Benjamin Wall. Could he possibly go sub 150? Here he comes onto the home straight. He will have 11 seconds to run this last 100 metres. I don't think he'll do it, but he will absolutely dominate this field here at the Potts Classic. The crowd appreciates a fantastic finish from Benjamin Wall. Big finish. Van Hooven takes the second place.
Yeah, there was a massive battle there for second, about 5 of them there, but Van Hooven came through to get that second. Unfortunately, they just missed the 150 barrier. Looks like 150.07.
I was impressed from Benjamin Wall's last 200 metres.
Yeah, you could tell he had a race plan, and he definitely executed it well, and he just went with 200 to go. You see that battle there.
The finger in the air and the clap.
Yeah.
That must have felt good.
Oh,
really kicked home strong. 150 low, 150.07.
Yeah, so PB for him.
Oh.
So although not under 50, it's very, very close. So next time he races an 800, he'll certainly be looking to go under that 150 barrier.
Yeah, so 150.67 I saw on the timing board. I thought I saw a 0.07, but great finish from Ben Wall. Fletcher Van Hooven finishing in 153, and it was Yarg actually who came up into third place with a 153. Here's Nick Palmer's final throw. Oh, and he steps out the front of that circle, but raises his hands to the crowd, and he has been out into the 19-metre range. There's confirmation of that 800-metre A final. Big finish from Ben Wall.
Just goes to show you really don't know in an 800 till the last 100 with the second, third, fourth and fifth. Excellent battle there. You know, you wouldn't have known that with 300 to go. And then,
the number of guys in the 153s.
Yes.
And of course, all those guys will be winding up towards the national champs coming up down in Dunedin this year.
Yeah.
In 17 metres 33 in the para-multi class. Jack Adams from Gisborne Athletics through 10.89 from Corin Henning, Kiwi Athletic 10 metres.
So round 6 in the women's long jump. And we've got Juliet McKinley sitting in third place. Her best is a 5:34. Now here's Maddie Wilson. She's sitting in second with a 5:72. She needs a 5:87 or more to go past Brianna Stevenson. Maddie Wilson, last jump. Looked good on the board. Gets the white flag. So Juliet McKinley's last jump, 5:40, so slight improvement for her, but keeps her in third place. And we've got one more jump to come in the final field event at the Potts Classic, and Brianna Stevenson has decided to pass. So she takes the win in the long jump with the 5:86, and that concludes our action in the field. And we turn our attention fully back to the track where we have 2 races remaining. And this is the 3,000 metre senior men's champs, and this is a really strong field. We've got 18 athletes lining up for this one. Toby Golter, Jared Monk, Sam Ruth, who's been lighting up all sorts of junior records, Ben Otis, Ben Bidwar, Ben Ruth, Liam Chesney, Nick Dobby, Jared Clifford over from Australia, the T12 athlete. Then we've got Connor Melton, Matthew Taylor, William Little, Darian Sorori, Tango Mbambo, Hamish Murray, Toby Tasker, Ollie Chignell, David Lee. What a lineup, Holly Manning.
Yes, I am very excited for this race, as I think most people watching will be. Some pretty cool storylines in this race. You've got Ben Ruth and Sam Ruth, father and son. So yeah, I'm sure they'll have a lot of keen family members watching this, whether they're here or at home. So yeah, I think we're in for a very good race. We've also got Jared Clifford, who we saw in on Wednesday night at Cook's Classic, or I'll get the fastest ever mile time by a visually impaired runner, which is pretty epic, right bang on with 4:00:45 or something.
Yeah, it was very close to a sub-4. So there's Jared wearing the white cap, and I had a chat to him yesterday, and he was saying he's basically got okay peripheral vision, but it's actually the vision directly in front of him that's really challenging. And what he finds most challenging is when the light is really contrasty and bright, so he finds the cap helps to just reduce some of that glare from above. So he's sort of trying to work it out. There's all sorts of intricacies dealing with his condition, and one of them, he said, he just finds his lunch makes his way out of his out the top end.
Really?
Whenever he races. So
that's not ideal, is it?
We've got that to look forward to. So sorry, Jared, to share all that news. But first lap done and dusted, 1:03. These guys are moving. So Ben Ruth, father, of course, of Sam Ruth, and a very well accomplished distance runner in his day, now a Masters runner, and he's doing really well.
Yeah.
Just set the pace.
Looks like he is setting a bit of pace there. Yeah, he's doing an excellent job. And then you've got Toby Golter, who's also just back from the States, right behind him. And then you've got William Little, which, as we've seen, has been running exceptionally well over the past two or three seasons, and then Jared Clifford tucked in right behind Will Little. You've also got Ollie Chignell there. It's exciting seeing him back on the track and racing. He ran a really good 10K over in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So yes, a little bit shorter than that, obviously a 3K, so we'll see what speed he's got in his legs. And you've got David Lee right behind there, sitting in a good position. So
Ben Ruth, the Masters athlete, doing a great job of setting this race up, and then goes through in about 2:07. So that's perfect pacing. There's a lot of these boys will be wanting to not only challenge for the national title, but maybe get a sub-8 out of this race. And so the splits are looking for 64 seconds per lap, or ideally slightly under that.
Yeah, definitely. I think you'll see this is a little bit different to the women's race, where it looks slightly less tactical and more about just going for it and getting that fast time.
So Ben just moving to the side, which leaves Toby Golter, the New Zealand 10,000 metre champion, at the front of the race.
They're really not hanging around here.
They really aren't as they go through 1K. They are shifting, ladies and gentlemen. So Toby Golter, William Little, and then it's Jared Clifford, and then Ollie Chignell. Great to see Ollie, the flying moustache out of Dunedin, back on the track.
Yeah.
He's been battling a few injuries lately, but good to see him looking fit and strong.
Definitely, and you can see Sam there sitting right behind Matt Taylor. So this is another good story of a good age range of people here. Obviously we've got 15-year-old and 16-year-old, and then we've got up to 29, I think. 31, sorry.
Now at the night of fives, just before Christmas, we had Toby Golter, who's on the front, and William Little just trade blows in that 5,000 metre race, which was so exciting. And then the fact that they were kind of trading blows opened the door for Julian Oakley to just storm home for the win. Now, it's going to be interesting how Toby plays this out, because he's probably more of the strength athlete. And perhaps some of these other guys, I'm sort of keeping an eye on someone like Matt Taylor back there, who's got a good turn of speed. We know Ollie Chignell's got a good turn of speed. Don't write off Jared Clifford, of course, who ran that amazing mile. So a lot of these guys might want to just think, okay, you stay out the front, you're more strength athletes, and tow us towards the finish. You can see Tango Mbambo just going past Jared Clifford there. Jared, of course, just needing a little bit more space to make sure he doesn't clip a heel.
There's a lot of versatility in these athletes too, you know, a lot of very good cross-country runners too, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we've got Connor Melton in there wearing the white of Whippets and the little man bun there, so he's coming into 5th place, who won the New Zealand secondaries. Jared Monk just in there. That's the chasing pack, isn't it? So they're about 100 metres behind the action. Toby Golter still up the front. Ollie Chignell right there. William Little, Connor Melton.
Scott,
David
Jared
Lee.
Clifford and...
Yeah, I think is that Matt Taylor?
No, Matt Taylor's still there in the front pack.
It's another Bays athlete potentially. So that pack has just whittled down a little bit from, I think it was 11, now 9.
Ben Otis, I think.
So still Toby Golter. Ollie Chignell looking chilled out at the front there. William Little starting to show a bit of expression of pain on the face, as you'd expect this deep. 2 laps to go now. This race is really starting to work towards the pointy end as Ollie Chignell takes the lead, and he will want to work from a bit further out than some of these other guys who maybe have a bit more sting in the kick.
Yeah, I think having Will there is quite scary. Will is a very gritty and gutsy runner, so Ollie will definitely want to string that out, but you can see how composed Ollie looks there. He looks very similar to how he did in that Zatopek Melbourne 10K, so I think he is in for a pretty fast time here and a good run.
And Ollie Chignell, he's won 5 senior national titles, but never the 3K. He's in the lead of the 3K right now, and behind him 5 other men who would love to take that national title. Toby Golter having to run wide around Connor Melton. Sam Ruth is right there. We haven't yet talked about the youngster. Could the youngster take a senior national title as a 15-year-old? Do we dare to believe it? Ollie Chignell in the lead, then it's William Little. Sam Ruth is right there. These 3 men battling. There's another 3 just behind them. Can they close the gap?
Well, Sam looks really, really good.
Sam looks really good, and we know the strength that Sam Ruth has. He's fast over the 15, he's fast over the 8. Ollie Chignell, has he given himself enough runway? Has he taken the sting out of Sam Ruth's legs? William Little starting to struggle now. Ollie Chignell, it's the experienced campaigner up against the youngster. What a battle we've got on our hands here at the Ellen and Sylvia Potts Classic. 3,000 metres, this is a national title on the line. The junior rounds onto the shoulder of Ollie Chignell. Here comes Sam Ruth, running for a senior national title at the age of 15. The crowd rises to their feet. What are we seeing here tonight at Hastings? He goes sub-8. He takes the national title. Sam Ruth, take a bow.
Wow, my jaw is on the floor. That was insane. I think there'll be a lot of people watching this live stream tonight from overseas who've just started hearing of Sam Ruth and all the world records he's breaking, so they'll be pretty impressed with that race, I think.
We saw him go 8:05 at the end of last year in the 3K, setting a world's best. We saw him run so close to a sub-4 minute mile just last week. Now he claims a national senior title, and look at the number of bodies on the floor. Sam Ruth has sprinted past all of them to take a senior national title at the age of 15.
That is very impressive. I can't. I'm sorry. I think also we didn't really mention David Lee, but he had an exceptional run for second there. Just really went for it with 150 to go.
He did. I missed that one.
Yeah.
32 seconds for his last 200 for David Lee. Sam Ruth just absolutely owning that last 400. We didn't talk about him. I didn't mention his name once.
Yeah, he has been running very, very well. So, yeah, it's not a surprise, but it is.
I know.
It doesn't make it any less impressive.
Really amazing run. And there's a lot of hurt out on that track. These guys emptied the tank. And you did get the feeling, the fact that Sam Ruth was there with 400 to go.
Yeah.
That who's got the wheels in this field? It's probably Sam, as long as he hasn't had all those wheels sucked out of him.
Yeah. So 3 really, really good races over the last week for him. So
what
again,
a week.
yeah, like I've mentioned with a few of the other athletes, I'm not sure if he'll be coming up for Sir Graham, but a bit of recovery for the next few weeks, and then he'll be focusing on nationals and more records, I assume.
It's sort of like at such a young age, it's like, I try not to get too excited when athletes do show promise.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, there's promise, and then there's actually delivering on the senior stage.
Certainly. And I think having a coach like Craig Kirkwood as well, he obviously knows what he's doing. He's a very, very good coach. So I think he's in good hands for the future, which is exciting for all of us.
And how cool to have his dad pacing for the first K.
Yeah. I think his dad's been
unofficially pacing?
Yeah, nearly all of the races that he's run his records in, so maybe it's a good luck charm for him.
So look at all these PBs, 4 guys under 8, and that's a massive mark, particularly for those who haven't gone sub-8 yet. David Lee picking up the silver medal. William Little, who did a lot of work early on, 7:57, another PB. Ollie Chignell just getting nudged out in that last burn up at the end, which I totally lost track of, just keeping my eye on Sam Ruth. Jared Clifford there with an 8:13, Toby Tasker, and look at all those personal bests.
So many PBs.
Yeah, impressive running across the board.
Wow,
we've got more to come.
Yeah, I got so excited I forgot about the 800.
And of course, this event in honour of Sylvia Potts. Tell us a little bit about Sylvia Potts, a local hero.
Yeah, definitely. So Sylvia Potts, she's from Hawke's Bay, and she made it to the Mexico City Olympics, which was in 1968, and she made the semi-final of the 800, which I think was one of the first New Zealand female athletes to really make it. And then unfortunately she fell at the 1970 Com Games right before the finish. But yeah, she's remembered as one of the first successful women in the 800 from New Zealand. So
and how cool to see her grandkids out here
100%.
On the top of the podium tonight. So I'm sure Ellen and Sylvia are looking down at this with a lot of pride in what's happening tonight and in the local athletics community. But this final event here at the Ellen and Sylvia Potts Classic, the 26th running of this event, the 800 metres, and boy, we've got a great field. We've got Cameron Smart, Holly Fawcett, Stella Peerless, Izzy Thornton-Bott from Australia, Allison Andrews-Paul, Bo Ritchie, Laura Nagel, back again from the 3K title, Rosa Twyford, Brianna Stevenson, who I imagine's doing some pacemaking duty.
Pacing,
and Holly Rule, Samantha Lachelles, and Poppy Healy. So 12 athletes there. Brianna Stevenson is pacemaking. Laura Nagel still trying to recover 35 minutes later. But talk to us about some of these ladies.
Yeah, so I believe the requested pace is 58.5, with the main focus being on Allison Andrews-Paul. I think she's trying to go for that 2 flat. Her PB is 2:01 low, so I believe, the last few races we've seen, she's run very well. So I think she can go out tonight with the great conditions and hopefully get that with an excellent pacer.
Final race of the night, the Andrew Spence Pharmacies 800 metres Elite Women's A final. There is Allison Andrews-Paul on the inside, wearing the black, number 5 on her chest, and straight to the front will be Brianna. She'll be given a task, no doubt, of going through in about 27, 28 seconds, and she does exactly that.
Right on.
Allison Andrews-Paul just right in there on the shoulder. You can see Cameron Smart just starting to lose a little bit of connection as Bo Ritchie just rounds Cameron Smart and comes into the rail. And Bo Ritchie, what a fantastic couple of years she's had recently, going to the World Juniors in the 800 and the 15 and the World Cross in the same year. Amazing.
Yeah, a lot of versatility.
And as the rain starts to come down, probably perfect timing for the night here in Hastings on the lead. Perfect pacing through 400 metres. Brianna Stevenson taking them through. Allison Andrews-Paul, she's right there. Stella Peerless is right on her shoulder as well. Bo Ritchie, what can she do tonight? As we see, and Allison Andrews-Paul, she wants that sub-2. She's starting to press for home now. What's she going to go through? 600 and it's going to be a tick over 130. She starts to kick for home. Bo Ritchie comes into second place. Stella Peerless now in third. Bo Ritchie, can she close that gap up to Stella Peerless? What can Stella deliver in the rain here in Hastings? The final event of the Ellen and Sylvia Potts Classic here in 2025. Here she comes, the crowd makes some noise for her as she steams towards the finish. Allison Andrews-Paul, she's going to take out the title tonight. She wins in about 2:03. Bo Ritchie right behind her. Stella Peerless in third, and they steam home. Somehow Laura Nagel came through for 5th. I have no idea how she managed to pull that one off.
Incredible. An incredible run by Bo Ritchie too. I think that might be a PB for her. Looked about 2:03, 2:04.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great race, and you can tell that Allison really also, she had that race plan. She was gunning for it from 200 to go and followed the pacer really well. So she should be very happy with that.
So it's not a sub-2 for Allison today. It's not a personal best, but it's a real domination of this quality field by Allison.
Also that 2:02.97 is probably the fastest she's ever run on New Zealand soil.
Wow,
so I think she'll be really happy with that. And definitely PB for Bo there, 2:03.68 for her age, 18.
PB,
that's incredible.
Yeah, when we talk about Sam Ruth on the male side of junior middle distance running, Bo Ritchie on the women's side of things, write that name down in the back of your mind and see where her career is tracking, because it's tracking pretty good so far.
Yeah, definitely.
Stella Peerless, 2:04 in third place. Izzy Thornton-Bott, our guest from Australia, coming through for 4th in a 2:06. And Laura Nagel, unbelievably pulling off a 2:07 just half an hour after winning yet another national title in the 3,000 metres. So shortly we're going to cross down to Allison Andrews-Paul with Mark Rosanowski to hear about that race and hear about her plans for the rest of the summer. And I know she's really hungry for that sub 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that her training has been pointing in that direction as well.
Definitely. She'll be gunning for that World Champs. So, yeah, I think she's getting ever closer.
Yeah. So there's confirmation. Meet record, 2:02.97.
So many PBs there as well.
Richie, look at all those PBs. 2:03. Stella Peerless, 2:04. And look down the list, just PBs galore. Brilliant running. The likes of Cameron Smart and Holly Rule stepping up from the 400 to the 8. Really cool to see that.
Yeah.
And running really well.
And Cam's getting really consistent as well. You know, she's run 2:08 now a couple of times, so she'll be looking to obviously improve that. But I think the fact that she has been able to run that now a couple of times is some pretty positive signs for the future. So I'm excited to see how she goes for the rest of the season over the 800.
We're going to cross down to Mark Rosanowski with Allison Andrews-Paul.
800 metres, Allison Andrews-Paul, just trying to shake some of the lactic acid out of your legs. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm pretty tired right now. First 800 of the season, so it stings a little, but it's good to be back.
What were you aiming for tonight, time-wise?
Yeah, I kind of said to myself, I think 2:02 or faster, I'd be happy. I ran 2:02.9 and I'm not happy. But, you know, that's the way it goes, and it's a great season opener. Great effort on my own. I don't run right behind pacers a lot, so I was kind of just trying to treat it like, let's just see what we can do behind a pacer, you know, really take the stress out of it. So definitely happy to get a win at home and to come back to Potts and be able to compete here.
And you took the mile title last week in the Cook's Classic, so it's been a big week.
Yeah, it sure has. Super awesome to get to come down for the Classic season. I'm based out of Vancouver, Canada, so yeah, they were able to bring me out for Cooks. So to get the mile title was an awesome surprise. I'm not really known for my 1500 mile ability, so really helped to build some confidence there, and it was a really fun race. So, but yeah, Potts is definitely the big one for me. I've competed at this meet a lot growing up. First place I ran 2:10, first place I broke 2:10, so awesome to get a PB on home soil.
Will you be defending your national 800 metre title, or are you heading back to Vancouver?
Yeah, unfortunately no plans to come out for that part of the season, just didn't quite fit in the schedule coming down to Dunedin. But I am headed back to North America, try hit one more in Boston for the indoor season. And it's a long outdoor season, so we'll take it from there.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Allison Andrews-Paul after 800 metre victory here in the dark, the gloom and the rain starting here at Hastings, but we've been lucky with the weather.
That's right, it was promising all afternoon and amazingly held off to the final 400 metres of the final race of the evening. And it's just been a fantastic afternoon in warm conditions, and here's confirmation of some of the field events that we haven't caught up on. Nick Palmer really delighted his home crowd with a 19:29. Didn't hit the 20 metres, and there was talk of potentially something well above 20 metres today, but not to be. Blessing Sefo finishing there in second with a good strong outing. Jack Adams 10:89, Corin Hanning 10:54 in the para division in the shot. And amazing timing with this weather, Holly Manning.
I know, that was crazy. That exactly the same thing happened at Nationals last year with the 800, where it only rained for the 800. So I bet some of those girls would have been a bit triggered by that, I think. But I mean, they ran really well. It didn't seem to affect them. So yeah,
now
maybe cooled them off.
Yeah, that wonderful pole vault competition, who would have been very happy that it wasn't raining. Look at all those personal bests and that top three. It was a really special evening for these ladies, particularly for Hannah Adey, who finds herself a 4-metre vaulter tonight, and she joins the likes of Olivia McTaggart, Imogen Eris, and Liza McCartney, of course, getting into the 4-metre ranks, and that was a real key highlight of the afternoon. The vaulters really enjoying their time in the Hawke's Bay sun. Now, next up in the athletics domestic calendar, we head up to Auckland, West Auckland in particular, the Truss Arena. That's on Sunday evening, so if you're anywhere near that part of the country, be sure to book your tickets and head along there. A lot of these athletes will be doubling back. We have a lot of athletes that come out from Japan, South Korea, Australia, particularly for the Sir Graham Douglas meet. So make sure you get along to see some of the best athletes, not only from New Zealand, but this corner of the world. Will be at the Sir Graham Douglas meet next Sunday. It will be live again on the Athletics New Zealand YouTube channel, and I assume also out on Sky Sport 9. But my name is Hayden Sherman. I've been joined by Holly Manning, and we've just had a fantastic day in the sunshine here in Hastings at the Alan and Sylvia Potts Classic. We thank you for tuning into our coverage, and as the rain comes down, we will leave you, and we will look forward to joining us next Sunday from the Sir Graham Douglas International Track Meet. As the summer circuit continues here in Aotearoa, we will see you then. Mā te wā.
Putting in the best got a best of 61.80. Over. It's all Zoe Hobbs' night. Nick Palmer, so he's inching closer. Watch that clock. She